Rurouni Kenshin author. Mingjian Shoutian Synopsis. A sword is a weapon, and swordsmanship is a deadly art. Regardless of how beautifully one may embellish it, this remains an undeniable truth. The sword, once clouded with confusion, has now been tainted by the fervor of vengeance. The blade drawn by the master no longer faces himself. The sword, which once could not reach the heavens, is now held in the hands of its master, thrusting towards the sky in a state of brokenness. What kind of ideological upheaval will Shishio, Kenshin's lifelong adversary from Kyoto, bring to him? The grievances with the void, the decisive battle before the dragon vein, and the familiar figure of Master Sōjiro from memory, will he truly never return? Chapter 1. Thus, I ponder, why am I here? The red-haired youth gazes around at the boys imprisoned in cages like himself, and then at the adults circled nearby. His expression one of utter dismay. Why does my brother live so freely in my world, yet I find myself transported here? This is utterly nonsensical. Oh, young one. Traversing realms is not as simple as you may wish it to be. I yearn for such a fortune. How infuriating it is, this ungrateful being. Very well. The youth is named Scarlet. Do not inquire why he bears such a name. Direct your questions to my parents, who now enjoy their twilight years in the heavens. Initially, while haggling fervently in a supermarket with an elderly gentleman, he finally secured the coveted item. Yet, upon stepping outside, he vanished, only to find himself in a diminished form. His hair altered, and in a situation that resembles servitude. So, why could I not have been granted a more favorable identity? I understand your limitations, dear author, confining me to the role of a neighbor's child or that of the boy next door, but transforming me into a slave? I declare, if I have not escaped this identity within 3 chapters, you shall have to come forth and assume the role of the protagonist. All right then, 3 chapters it is. How bothersome. Ah, esteemed gentleman, Scarlet tentatively calls out. If I were to trade my cucumbers and potatoes, might you answer a few queries for this humble brother? Huh, what did you say, little brat? A burly figure, whose appearance is a disservice to his parents, turns around. May I inquire, good sir, what era are we currently in? Turn around quickly. I am on the verge of retching. What? Are you jesting, little one? Upon hearing Scarlet's words, the man bursts into laughter, as if it were the most amusing joke. You foolish child, there is a war raging outside, the conflict between the shogunate and the celestials. War, huh? Ha ha ha. Scarlet, with a wry smile, has come to comprehend his surroundings. Good heavens, this is undoubtedly the realm of Rurouni Kenshin. Why have I been thrust into this place? I've only watched 3 episodes. Why not a world of pirates or ninjas, where I am familiar? This is maddening. I know nothing of this plot. Am I to be driven to despair? Author, hastily conjure some event that permits me to traverse once more. Oh, young one, you overthink. If I had not brought you here, what significance would my title possess? Remain calm and compliant. Brothers, once we send this last batch of children across, our mission shall be fulfilled. Supporting character A. I am uncertain about the intentions of those in power regarding these children. In times of war, the shogunate clandestinely engages in such actions. We are mere pawns, tasked solely with capturing individuals, fleeing, delivering goods, and collecting payment. The rest is none of our concern, as it falls to those within the shogunate. Did you eat? One of the extras exclaimed, expressing frustration over bypassing a serious matter. Look at extra C in the corner, weeping profusely. Yet, here we are, feeling somewhat discontent. If you feel discontent, once you receive your payment, indulge yourself at a flower shop, replied extra B. Oh, let us not dwell on that. After this job, I intend to return home and marry, thus I must conserve my funds. Extra A responded, chuckling lightly. Extra B, scratching his head, smiled foolishly. Scarlet silently listened to their exchange, turning her gaze away, already foreseeing the outcome. Uncle, you will not complete this task. The specter of death looms large. Even if they remain unharmed, you surely will not find a wife. Ah, indeed. Are all the inhabitants of this wretched world devoid of integrity? Pardon the intrusion, a figure emerged from the woods, clad in a gray kimono and wielding a katana at his waist, his long hair flowing gracefully and a warm smile gracing his face. Who are you? The 4 extras exclaimed in unison, leaping to their feet and drawing their swords. Stay where you are. Please, do not be alarmed, the man said, raising his hands. I merely wish to discuss a matter with you. We have nothing to say to you. You are not welcome here. Kindly leave. Extra A replied tersely. Consider this. You intend to sell these children. Why not sell them to me? The man suggested softly. Scarlet was surprisingly silent, merely observing him with an inscrutable expression. Enough. Do not speak to me as if I were one of your kind. I will strike you down with the iron chains in my grasp. Apologies. Extra A adjusted his hat. These children are not ours to sell. They are assigned to us by our superiors, and we cannot part with them. The shogunate, is it? The man lowered his voice slightly. Extra A did not deny it, acknowledging the truth of the matter. I believe you will sell them to me, he stated. And with a sudden gust of wind, the man was now behind the four extras. Why you? They stammered, voices trembling. Who are you? Scarlet gasped, realizing the extras' swords had been reduced to mere halves. She stared in astonishment at the man, who exhibited such speed and formidable swordsmanship. Your skills are indeed remarkable. But I cannot comply with your request for these children. Granting them to you would mean our demise, and refusing you, I fear we may not survive the next moment. Extra A's voice was laced with bitterness. Come then, in our lives. I regret making such a request. The man sheathed his sword. However, should the shogun inquire, simply state that the children were taken by one named Yoshida Shoyo. It should not cause you too much trouble. So his name is Yoshida Shoyo, is it? The supporting character wore a troubled expression, for after all, life is but one, and it cannot be entrusted to the hands of a stranger met for the first time. Moreover, should this method fail, it would be preferable to be slain by this man's sword, as his martial prowess seemed to promise minimal suffering. Returning to the shogunate, rest assured, there would be no complications. Yoshida Shoyo, with a single stroke, severed the iron lock. The shogun will not make things difficult for you. Very well. I shall give it a try. Gritting his teeth, the supporting character departed with his three companions. Ultimately, he did not allow Yoshida Shoyo to take his life. Indeed, as a member of the human race, one would not relinquish a glimmer of hope for survival. Children, would you care to join me? Come to my private school. Crimson gazed at Yoshida Shoyo, momentarily speechless. The other children cheered and ran to Yoshida Shoyo, their smiles radiant. But Crimson remained, fixated on him. Perhaps it was the peculiarity of Crimson's gaze that finally caught Yoshida Shoyo's attention toward this unique child. He approached Crimson, meeting his gaze in silence. Crimson silently pondered. Can I trust you? Yoshida Shoyo paused for a moment, then smiled, gently ruffling Crimson's hair, his tone increasingly tender and calm. Yes. Crimson was momentarily taken aback, as if he perceived a radiance behind Yoshida Shoyo, unable to discern whether it emanated from the sun or belonged to him. Yet, Crimson felt no aversion. He lifted his head to meet Yoshida Shoyo's gaze, momentarily forgetting that he was a time traveler, and for the first time, he wholly entrusted himself to this man he had just met. A broad smile broke across his face. Teacher Matsunari. In the ensuing journey, Crimson and approximately 12 other children followed Teacher Matsunari to a village. Observing the villagers greeting them warmly upon Matsunari's arrival, Crimson lowered his head and murmured, I didn't expect him to be so popular. Crimson could not fathom why he so readily placed his trust in another. Momentarily forgetting his own identity as a time traveler, entrusting himself entirely to this first-time encounter with Teacher Matsunari. Finally arriving at the private school, Crimson scratched his head, struggling to reconcile this simple, tranquil place with his notion of a school. In his mind, a private school resembled an elementary institution bustling with noise and children running about, where strict teachers reprimanded mischievous students. However, upon entering the private school with Matsunari, Crimson was greeted only by polished floors and curtains swaying gently in the breeze. In this unadorned setting, Crimson felt it was the most suitable place for him, the best place he could imagine. Here we are, this is the teacher's private school, Matsunari remarked, turning around and crouching down, clapping his hands to capture the attention of the wandering children. This is where the teacher lives. It feels so warm. I love it here. Teacher, may I stay here forever? Teacher Songyang smiled as he conversed with the children. Yet his gaze discreetly lingered on the distant figure of Fei Hong. He understood that this boy, named Fei Hong, was reticent and somewhat reclusive, and thus he endeavored to draw him into their little circle. With this thought, he couldn't help but chuckle. After all, there was ample time, so why rush? Fei Hong remained silent and motionless, wearing an expression of indifference, while his mind was in tumult. I am a traveler. How could I possibly be like these mere children? I possess the soul of an adult, and I shall not indulge in childish whims or antics. I can address matters later. Teacher Songyang stood up and announced, Everyone, go wash up at the back. I will prepare a set of clothes for you. A chorus of cheers erupted from the children, who dashed towards the corridor. Feihong, aren't you coming along? Teacher Song Yang approached Feihong and gently ruffled his hair. Absolutely not. I refuse to join them, Feihong retorted, wishing to convey his disdain. But to Song Yang, it merely sounded like the capriciousness of a child. If you don't wash up, such untidiness won't showcase your handsome figure. Song Yang teased lightly. TCH. Feihong scoffed, reluctantly heading to the back, continually reassuring himself that he was merely going to bathe, which was a perfectly normal act, and it had nothing to do with teacher Song Yang. TCH, that guy is truly insufferable. How detestable. Your integrity? I cannot possibly believe it. It seemed everyone had finished washing up. Come, here are your clothes, Song Yang announced, entering with an armful of gray garments. Form a line and collect your attire. Reluctantly, Feihong mingled within the line of children, perplexed as to why he felt such an inexplicable trust towards teacher Song Yang, the very person he ought to be wary of. A man with a hidden dagger behind his smile. How contemptible. Very well, let us ignore this proud little fellow. Although you are no longer an adult, I still mourn for your proud adult soul. Do not take offense. I have rendered your feelings towards Song Yang entirely defenseless. If we advance further, it could delve deeper. After incapacitating the author of this alternative dimension, Feihong finally reached the front of the line, ready to receive his clothing. However, teacher Song Yang halted him. Feihong, your outfit is here. As Song Yang spoke, he produced a vibrant red kimono from behind his back. What do you think? I believe it suits you splendidly. Feihong remained silent, his eyes twitching as he regarded teacher Song Yang. Is it merely because my name is Feihong and my hair is red that the attire must also be red? Is this truly acceptable? Thank you, teacher Song Yang. Feihong accepted the kimono, quietly moving to a nearby spot to change, all the while internally lamenting that he would never wear anything red again, and he would dye his hair back to black. Perhaps even change his name to something like Kurosaki Ichigo. Ah, young one, your grievances are amusing, yet under the influence of the grand cosmos, you shall never achieve such things. Ha! Teacher, my judgment was impeccable, was it not? I told you red suits you perfectly, Feihong. Song Yang gazed at the crimson figure, now donned in freshly changed attire, nodding in satisfaction. The crimson outfit featured a red top and white bottoms, complemented by slightly lengthy red hair, rendering him a most captivating youth, the kind that would leave those enamored with such charm utterly entranced. Meanwhile, Crimson, with a pair of wide eyes, looked at Song Yang with a hint of despair. Teacher Song Yang, I sense a profound malice from this world towards me. Taken aback for a moment, Song Yang burst into hearty laughter. How could that be? I merely think you bear a striking resemblance to someone. Intrigued, Crimson inquired, who might that be? Rising from his seat, Song Yang retrieved a book from behind him, opening it to reveal its contents before Crimson. Behold, Rurouni Kenshin. What do you think? Do you not see the likeness? Crimson facepalmed, having anticipated such a revelation. Upon extracting a volume of Jump, he had already discerned the conclusion. Teacher Song Yang, you don't truly believe I am a descendant of this Rurouni Kenshin, do you? It is understandable that Crimson had not watched Rurouni Kenshin, being an older anime from the pioneering era, and many had not seen it. Ah, I, the author, have watched it. It was a fragment of my bygone youth. Not at all. Song Yang closed the book, affirming, you indeed share a resemblance with Kenshin. Well, save for the absence of a sword. Wait, he interrupted loudly, drawing the attention of a group of children. Alas, my thick skin allowed me to disregard it. You keep mentioning this Kenshin. Who is he? What if he is a total loser? Crimson, I aspire to be a hero. I cannot allow a mere name to define my existence. Just imagine, if someone were to call me Crimson Blade, what a splendid name that would be. Indeed. Song Yang chuckled softly. Rurouni Kenshin. Ah, you shall learn of him in due time. He then gathered Crimson and the others. You all seem quite weary. Take a moment to rest. I shall treat everyone to dinner tonight. Thank you, teacher Song Yang. Yes. Understood. Crimson deliberately lagged behind, waiting for the children to disperse before turning back to Song Yang. Teacher Song Yang, I wish to sleep in a different place. Why is that? Song Yang was taken aback. I refuse to be among them. I am quite mature. How could I possibly play with them? Crimson crossed his arms. I would prefer to live alone. Before he could finish his thought, a large hand ruffled his hair. Being too detached from everyone is not ideal. Teacher understands your maturity. But maturity does not equate to isolation. In time, you will have many companions and encounter individuals worthy of your trust. No one can fight and live alone indefinitely. You must endeavor to coexist with them, to share life. Teacher does not wish for you to walk the path of solitude. Right, Kenshin-kun? My name is Crimson. Do not misname me. How infuriating. What a dazzling light. My eyes could hardly bear its brilliance. How could such a person exist? In truth, Songyang is the real transmigrator. Hey, Crimson, ha! Songyang's laughter echoed far and wide. Under the warm embrace of sunlight, Fei Hong realized that she would never forget this person throughout her life. Every moment spent with him would become a cherished memory, a fragment of her most beloved existence. Ah, Fei Hong, cast aside your pride. If you were a girl, perhaps you would even wish to marry teacher Songyang at this very moment. Humph. Silence, foolish author. Fei Hong raised her steaming fist and spat at the fallen writer. Chapter 3. Open the door. Your external aid has arrived. Please sign here. Describing mundane meals is utterly impossible. The author merely survives on instant noodles day in and day out. Who knows how to depict a multitude of people dining together? Skip it. Time leapt forward to the next day. Hey, where's your integrity? Deceitful author, where is your sense of decency? Just like that, with a beep. We have arrived at tomorrow. Can you believe that I might refuse to be your protagonist? No 3 meals a day, no safety net. And you jump through time. Enough is enough. All right. After gathering Fei Hong and the others, teacher Songyang smiled and said, I have spoken to the villagers, and they are willing to adopt you. Rest assured, the villagers are kind-hearted and will treat you well. Before he could finish, he was interrupted by a chorus of children's cries. Whoa, teacher Songyang. You don't want us anymore? Please, teacher, we will be good. Please take us in. Don't worry. The teacher cannot accommodate so many. But you will still come to my school. How could I possibly abandon you? Teacher Songyang gently patted the head of the girl who was crying the hardest. Then, teacher, is what you say true? The girl sniffled. You want to leave us, right? Yes. Teacher Songyang smiled. Now, everyone, let us head out. The villagers are waiting for us at the door. Turning back, he called out, Fei Hong, hurry over. Humph. Fei Hong pouted, her displeasure evident as she walked over. As he opened the door, indeed, many villagers stood outside. Upon seeing them, several children shrank back behind teacher Songyang, yet, encouraged by him, they timidly peeked out to observe the villagers. The villagers greeted teacher Songyang warmly, and Fei Hong, bewildered, could not fathom why he was so beloved. Was it merely due to his feminine features? Fei Hong watched as the villagers scanned the children, selecting their favorites among boys and girls. They greeted teacher Songyang, listened to his instructions, and reluctantly took away the children, who looked back longingly at him. Fei Hong surmised that the villagers would first need to alleviate the children's concerns upon returning home. Mr. Songyang, may I take him with me? Fei Hong inquired, pointing at the boy. Her expression turned icy. You, scoundrel, who gave you permission to choose me? Fei Hong, do not be rude. Songyang initially chastised Fei Hong gently, then turned to the villager with an apologetic expression, saying, I'm terribly sorry. This child is rather reclusive. I wanted to keep him close by. I truly apologize. The villager appeared visibly anxious, responding, Mr. Songyang, you jest. Our village's current state is indeed thanks to your kindness. It's quite all right, haha. I shall take my leave now. Until we meet again, Mr. Songyang. With that, the villager departed, leaving Fei Hong with a disdainful expression, muttering, humph. Trying to take me along without considering his own stature. Songyang appeared helpless, exclaiming, Ah, Fei Hong, all your companions have left. Do you truly wish to live with me? Teacher Songyang, I shall become a great hero in the future, and a great hero deserves to live with you. Please graciously accept this offer. Fei Hong feigned arrogance. Chuckling, Songyang replied, then it's settled. I shall entrust the household chores and meals to you. All right, I'll step out for a moment, as a few friends have summoned me. Fei Hong paused, adding, just so you know, I cannot cook. I can only prepare instant noodles. If what I make turns out inedible, do not blame me. Songyang laughed nonchalantly. Well, I trust you. If it comes to that, I'll join you for noodles. Nodding, Fei Hong continued, perhaps I could bring back a few children your age. Upon hearing this, Fei Hong's expression turned to one of disbelief. Are you certain? I am a 20-year-old man. Lying is unbecoming. Songyang stood, ruffling Fei Hong's hair. All right, you head back first. I'm off now. Hurry along. Leave quickly, as if you are of great importance, Fei Hong retorted, displaying his tsundere nature. As Songyang walked away, Fei Hong settled beneath a large tree, gazing up at the sky. He had never noticed how clear and tranquil it was. Lost in thought, the warm sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting a gentle glow on his face. He squinted against the brightness, feeling content until a sudden panel appeared in the air, startling him. Ding. Congratulations on completing the first step in unlocking the task. Stay by Yoshida Songyang's side. Reward: 1 red bean cake and a character talent selection card. Please continue your efforts. Fei Hong stared at the text floating in the void, his expression turning to one of exasperation. Why is there a system? And is this truly my golden finger? Is the novice task really this simple? What's with the reward of a single red bean cake? This is the most ludicrous reward I've ever encountered. Where is your integrity, system? Ding. Upon entering the world of Gintama, my integrity was devoured by the great ape Sirachi and cannot be restored. Fei Hong twitched at the words, then averted his gaze from the panel, genuinely fearing he might curse aloud. He tentatively inquired, store, package, weapons, lineage, skills, character list? An eerie silence followed. Ding. The character card will unlock only after the host chooses to use it. Character card? Fei Hong blinked in confusion. He then spotted a golden card on the grass. Picking it up to find it inscribed with 4 bold characters. Fei. Village. Sword. Heart. Hey. Isn't this supposed to be a character talent selection card? This is utterly frustrating. Where's the choice? There is only one character. Rurouni Kenshin. What kind of choice is this? I can't believe I was foolish enough to trust you. I am truly an idiot. And why? Oh why? Is it again Rurouni Kenshin? Ding. This system has been designed to heed the will of Master Matsunaga and the author. Just you wait. I shall not rest until you pay for this. Character selected. Rurouni Kenshin. Do you wish to proceed? Despite the frustration caused by the system and the author, one cannot entirely disregard the potential benefits of this golden opportunity. With no other option, I reluctantly chose to proceed. Ding. Activation successful. Please check the effects in 10 minutes. All functions are now accessible. Please review them, host. What a joke. Is this system a relic from centuries past? It even lags. Coach, I demand a system change. Rurouni Kenshin opened the weapon shop, and there appeared 4 gleaming weapons, instantly igniting excitement within him. He began to examine the descriptions of these 4 weapons. 1. Tensai Zengetsu, originating from the world of Bleach. This sword requires no Bankai. It is the protagonist's Zanpakuto. Due to the absence of Bankai, its power is somewhat limited. It is merely sharp and lacks any other notable qualities. Requirement: 500 integrity points. 2. Akatana, the weapon Kenshin used during his days as an assassin. 1 long and 1 short. It accompanied him through his darkest times. After accidentally killing his beloved, the short blade was shattered and the long one was forsaken. It is a cursed weapon. Unable to find the original name of Kenshin's assassin weapon, I resorted to naming it myself. Please do not hold it against me. Requirement: automatically acquired upon activation of the Rurouni Kenshin character card. 3. Reverse blade. The art of swordsmanship is a technique for taking lives. If the blade faces oneself, it will only inflict harm upon its wielder. This is a man's vow and the true perseverance of a swordsman. An exclusive weapon of Kenshin, it can never be destroyed, yet it cannot harm others. Requirement: 4. Heart sword. With no sword in hand, yet a sword exists within the heart. With no thoughts and no sword, without fear and without hesitation. There exists no foe that cannot be vanquished, no blade that cannot be overcome. This is a weapon of enlightenment, non-exchangeable and non-transferable. Requirement: Rurouni Kenshin was filled with exhilaration. Although the system had stripped him of his integrity points, it unexpectedly provided quite a boon. Aside from the last item, which resembled something from a martial arts tale, the other 3 were extraordinary weapons. How thrilling. I am beginning to like you, system. Unable to contain his excitement, he wondered how powerful the subsequent items would be. However, when he attempted to scroll further down, there was no response. Undeterred, he tried again, but still, nothing moved. Ding. What do you expect me to provide you? There is nothing left, young man. Strive hard. I retract my previous statements. This system, apart from its delays, is also quite cunning. I shall never trust you again. And what is this nonsense about exchanging integrity points? Is this a ploy to strip me of my dignity? Ding. The system requires the replenishment of integrity points to cease troubling the host, the system stated with a serious tone. Enough. You even sound like Misaka Makoto. Taking a deep breath to calm himself, Rurouni Kenshin gazed at the skills and silently prayed, please do not let me down. He clicked to open. Crescent Moon Slash. With no spiritual pressure, what do you expect from this Crescent Moon Slash? In the absence of a certain mastery in swordsmanship, one cannot expect to wield the Crescent Moon Slash. Additional effect, Sword Chi. The power of the crescent moon slash depends on the wielder's swordsmanship and physical stamina. Requirement: 1,000 moral integrity to attain the rank of swordmaster. True. Celestial cross, close combat, requires dual blades or an exceptionally powerful one-handed weapon. Ranged combat, essentially 2 enhanced crescent moon slashes, contingent upon your execution. Requirement: 5,000 moral integrity. Sky-slaying sword draw. Requirement. Hence, skills are inferior to weapons. At least I can comprehend weapons. But what in the world are these skills? I simply cannot fathom them. It is not that my intellect is lacking. Rather, your complexity is bewildering. Bloodline. The system has crashed. A bug detected. Deleting. Deleting bug. Hello, Bloodline host. The system is at your service. Get lost. Store. System. If you continue to deceive me, I may resort to drastic measures. Hemostatic medicine, literally as described. Requirement: 110 units. Revival capsule, can instantaneously revive a dying person. Requirement: 8,000 moral integrity. Stamina potion, restores stamina, derived from DNF, replenishing 20 fatigue points per use. Requirement: 2,000 moral integrity. Hair growth agent, promotes rapid hair growth, effective in 3 seconds. Requirement: 100 moral integrity. Swordmaster mecha, wielding a laser sword, and transformed into a colossal, steel-clad version of Rurouni Kenshin. You deserve this. Requirement: 50,000 moral integrity. First aid bandage, reduces bleeding. While applied to a wound, stamina does not decline. Requirement: 1 moral integrity per 5 rolls. The system, before I could unleash a torrent of curses, was suddenly struck by a wave of impact, causing me to faint onto the grassy ground. Chapter 4. From this moment forth, I am Rurouni Kenshin. Corpses are strewn all around. Why am I here? Who am I? My head aches terribly. Oh, that figure cradling a woman's corpse looks so familiar. Have I encountered him before? No, I can't recall. Oh, where's this place? Who is that woman? Kamaya? My head hurts. I can't remember. A sword is a weapon of death. Swordsmanship is a method of killing. Regardless of the beautiful words used to embellish it, that remains an undeniable truth. This phrase sounds so familiar. Have I ever uttered something akin to it? The flying sword style, the great fire of Kyoto, the restoration patriots, wandering overseas, the cross-scarred Kenshin, Kamaya Karu. I have returned. Karu. Keiru? Keiru? Yes, I remember now. I am Kenshin. Or is it Keiru? Keiru? There is someone of great significance. Keiru. But who is she? Keiru? Keiru. The path of resurgence. Without further ado. Say, Matsuyama-sensei, what kind of person is that fellow you mentioned? Inquired a curious boy with long black hair. He is quite a proud individual. Yes, much like Jinzo, though not as cold as him, Matsuyama mused, glancing towards the purple-haired child, who is indeed Jinzo. As we reach this juncture, it is evident to all who these two individuals are. Indeed, they are Takasuji and Jintoki. No, not Jintoki, but Katsura. Author. If you are intentionally misnaming me, I shall be quite displeased. Katsura, with a serious demeanor, asserts, this is the final time I shall address you as Katsura. Hey Zura. That foolish author has unwittingly chosen a character who stands by Matsuyama-sensei before I do. How infuriating. I shall put an end to him. Jinshu exclaims, his face alight with indignation. Listen, Jinshu, if you eliminate the protagonist, this tale will conclude, and our appearances in the TV series are already scant. It is a rare opportunity for this foolish author to seek us out. Do not let our visibility vanish. Jintoki, you are finished. Author, I have heard everything, and I shall ensure you receive no further scenes. Absolutely. The author responds seriously. What is it? You did not hear anything. A punch lands on the author as the narrative concludes. All of the above is merely a figment of the author's imagination. Now, let me, your subtitle master, continue. Jinshu, I trust you will get along splendidly. Matsuyama gently ruffles Takasuji's hair, who immediately wears a look of bliss. Upon finally arriving at the village, Matsuyama-sensei once again receives the villagers' attentive gazes. Jintoki and Takasuji stand beside him, one on each side. Jintoki appears carefree, while Takasuji bears an air of pride, as if to say, this is how Matsuyama-sensei ought to be. Say, Matsuyama-sensei, is that him? Jintoki excitedly points towards the crimson figure beneath the tree. Before he can finish his sentence, the figure leaps up, head tilted at a 45-degree angle towards the sky, exclaiming, from this day forth, I shall be known as Rurouni Kenshin. Cough, what are your names? How embarrassing. Kenshin, despite maintaining a composed exterior, is internally overwhelmed with shame at being seen. I am Katsura Kotaru, and this fellow is Takasuji Jinshu. From now on, we shall be students of the same private academy. I look forward to your guidance. Jintoki states bashfully, extending his hand. Zura, there is no need for you to introduce me. I am Takasuji Jinshu, remember my name. Should you forget, I shall end you. Takasuji maintains his unchanging expression of stoicism. Kenshin glances at Takasuji, then at Jintoki. Ahaha, it is Jinshu. Welcome to our humble abode, and Jintoki. A warm welcome to you as well. Let us celebrate. I am Himura Kenshin, he states, only to be corrected by Jintoki, not Jintoki, but Katsura. By the way, why does that name sound so familiar? That is the name of the protagonist from Rurouni Kenshin. Takasuji remarks disdainfully. How juvenile. Fool. I initially thought you were an arrogant individual, but your knowledge reveals you too must have red jump. Your aloof persona has vanished in my presence, fool. Oh, I see. Jintoki responds, a look of realization dawning upon him. By the way, why the sudden name change to Himura Kenshin? Matsuyama curiously inquires of Kenshin. When you were absent, I read through Jump, and to my surprise, you returned quite late. Thus, I finished it, and I found Kenshin to be incredibly cool, hence the name change. In truth, I had been unconscious for an entire day, from morning until night, absorbing the memories of Himura Kenshin. The name Kenshin Himura suits you perfectly, doesn't it, Kenshin-kun? With a tilt of the head and a smile. How infuriating. Matsuyama, you rascal. Are you truly not a woman? Hey, Jinshu, look. He's blushing. Kenshin's inner self is raging wildly. What's this, Jinshu? Your dignity is gone too. Your face is even redder than Kenshin's. Ahem. Enough of that. Let me make it clear. Starting today, I shall be your senior brother. Remember to address me as such from now on. Kenshin boldly declared his authority. Huh, did I hear that correctly? Jinshu raised his voice. Why should you be the senior brother? Don't think that arriving earlier makes you one. You rascal. I know you only came a day before us. You rascal. Does a day not count? One must understand that a single day is a third of the time required for Bankai. Such a precious day. Without it, how could one achieve Bankai? Thus, Jinshu, having missed a day, you shall remain in the realm of Hibiamaru for eternity, you rascal. Kenshin retorted fiercely. I say, both of you have less hair than I do. Considering my hairstyle is almost identical to Matsuyama-sensei's, I believe my compatibility with him is the highest. And it is only fitting that I be the senior brother. The faux hair spoke nobly, yet its sinister intentions were clear to both Jinshu and Kenshin. Faux hair. You are merely a wig. Besides, I am known as Kenshin Himura, a man of the samurai way. My compatibility with Matsuyama-sensei is no less than yours. You rascal. Kenshin pressed his forehead against the wig. Huh, is that a challenge? Faux hair or Kenshin? Do you wish to duel? I will show you why I am the senior brother, you rascal. Jinshu, you must be feeling cornered now. It's not faux hair, it's guy. The wig first retorted, then loudly declared. Believe it or not, I can send you all back to Namek with a Kamehameha. Huh, am I afraid of you? Kenshin climbed onto the table. By then, you would already be dead, you rascal. So are you unsatisfied? I am indeed unsatisfied. Let us go. Outside for a duel. Just as Kenshin and the others prepared to step out for a showdown, a gentle voice interrupted, causing the previously agitated trio to calm down. All right, you three, you are all important students of mine. We are friends, are we not? Kenshin and the others exchanged glances, assessing each other, then turned their heads away in displeasure, quietly huffing. You three are indeed very important students to me. Seeing you together makes me happy, especially you, Kenshin. I thought you would be very solitary, but it seems you just hadn't found the companions worthy of your trust. Now, I can rest easy. Matsuyama-sensei stood up. Although it is evening, we can still continue our lessons. Let us see, it's a swordsmanship class. Hey, Jinshu. Is Matsuyama-sensei a bit of a natural airhead? Kenshin quietly asked Jinshu. How would I know? Jinshu, you are blushing. Kenshin gazed at Jinshu with a bemused expression, then cast another glance at the inexplicably excited wig, silently rubbing his forehead. Chapter 5, alas. The natural curls still refused to emerge. First and foremost, one must understand what it means to be a samurai. Outside the private school, on the grassy expanse, it was already evening. The sun was mingling with golden clouds along the horizon, and the loud voices of villagers could be heard intermittently. In this picturesque world, a gentle man with long hair clad in a gray kimono kindly inquired of the 3 children seated on the ground. Indeed, this was Master Matsuyu leading Kenshin and his companions in their lessons. Is this not a form of favoritism? Perhaps it is indeed a matter of proximity. To fight for honor, to battle against injustice, there exists no notion of unfairness. This is my perspective, Wig replied earnestly, leaving Kenshin astonished, as he never anticipated such lofty aspirations from him. To protect those whom one loves, and to safeguard those who love oneself. Jinshu, blushing, lowered his head while gazing at Matsuyu. Should we say that Jinshu is straying further down the path of admiration for his mentor? Well, I have no desire to become a samurai. I abhor the constraints that bind me. I simply wish to be myself, eating and sleeping, sleeping and eating. Kenshin stretched his legs and gazed at the sky. Having this rare opportunity to relax, I refuse to entrap myself further. Katsura's ideals are commendable. He is destined for success. Jinshu expressed that being able to protect one's beloved is the finest realization a samurai can achieve. Master Matsuyu smiled as he looked at the sky. However, Kenshin, one cannot lead a carefree life indefinitely. You will encounter troubles, and you will meet your future partner. You will inevitably have aspirations, and that shall become your bushido. I don't want any of that complexity. I simply wish to be myself. Kenshin casually draped his arm over Wig's shoulder. Those without goals will achieve nothing significant. Should you falter in the future, do not dare claim to be a disciple of Master Matsuyu. Jinshu cooperatively activated a mocking aura, immediately ridiculing Kenshin. Jinshu, are you looking for a fight? I am a man of the Hiten Mitsurujiryu. With your physique, I need not even draw my sword. My height alone crushes you. By the way, it seems that the body Kenshin has traversed into appears to be that of a 12-year-old, while Jinshu and Wig are also 12. Alas, setting aside Wig for now, Kenshin stands just a smidgen taller than Jinshu, merely a tad. Damn it, I shall slay you, you scoundrel. Takasuji erupted in indignation, rising swiftly to charge toward Kenshin, but was firmly restrained by Wig. How rude, Takasuji. One must not behave so disrespectfully in front of Master Matsuyu. Upon witnessing this scene, Kenshin couldn't help but chuckle, preparing to retort when Matsuyu promptly intervened. Kenshin, do not stir trouble. And Takasuji, do not be so agitated. Height is something that will come in time. Ahem, calm down, Takasuji. Wig earnestly advised. Kenshin, you should also intervene. Kenshin disdainfully glanced at Takasuji. Hey, is that all it takes to set you off? You are even less mature than I imagined. Upon hearing these words, Takasuji became increasingly agitated. As the Wig could scarcely contain him any longer, Teacher Matsunoya aptly posed a question. What is your reason for wielding your sword? The way of the samurai is distinct from mere persistence. For whom, or for what do you raise the sword in your hand? Upon hearing this inquiry, both Takasuji and the Wig fell into deep contemplation. Only Kenshin, without a moment's hesitation, spoke in a somber tone. The sword is a weapon. Swordsmanship is a means of killing. No matter how beautifully one may adorn the truth with eloquent words, it remains an undeniable fact. Whether to protect through killing or to kill for oneself, these are merely excuses. Teacher Matsunoya's voice, tinged with exasperation, followed. That is the reasoning of Rurouni Kenshin, not yours. Kenshin shook his head. No, from the moment I changed my name to Himura Kenshin, it was destined that I would utter these words. Yet inwardly, he thought, please do not make me endure the same experiences as Himura. Oh, how painful that would be. Matsunoya appeared momentarily perplexed, clearly unable to grasp the meaning behind Kenshin's statement. Before he could inquire further, the Wig interjected. To protect this place, to safeguard this village. The calm declaration carried an undeniable conviction. To protect the place where Teacher Matsunoya is, to protect Teacher Matsunoya, I will foolishly confront anyone who stands in my way. Takasuji, it is no wonder you will eventually tread that path. Everyone's reasons were commendable. Matsunoya chuckled as he rose. Well then, today was merely a theoretical lesson in swordsmanship. Practical training will have to wait a few days. It is already quite late. You should all head home now. I will prepare a meal for everyone. Really, Teacher Matsunoya? Yes. Oh, dinner, Takasuji. Kenshin felt a vain throb on his forehead. Are you deliberately trying to provoke me? It's only because you can't get any yourself. Calmly, Takasuji swallowed a piece of meat. Teacher's culinary skills are truly remarkable. Teacher, are there any dumplings? Kenshin sighed. Wig, I think it would be better if you swallowed your food first. Stifling the urge to engage in a full-blown brawl with Takasuji, Kenshin silently reached for the last piece of braised meat. Takasuji, come out. I wish to duel with you. Huh, a duel? Let me finish eating first. He spoke while taking a large mouthful of rice. The night grew deep, and the three, lying side by side, each lost in their own thoughts, could no longer contain themselves. The Whig was the first to break the silence. Kenshin, it is a pleasure to meet you. Kenshin was taken aback, surprised by the Whig's sudden seriousness. It's nothing. I am also very pleased to meet you both. Another peculiar silence ensued. Takasuji? Kenshin tentatively called out. Takasuji? Sundara Jinsuk? Fiery-haired victim? Teacher's pet Takasuji? Short Takasuji? It seems he has fallen asleep. The Whig nodded earnestly. Jinsuk sleeps so soundly. He falls asleep at the drop of a hat. Is he really asleep? Kenshin asked uncertainly. Yes. Once Jinsuk is asleep, he becomes completely unresponsive. Not even thunder can wake him. That is good. Kenshin. What are you doing? Go to hell, short Takasuji. Why did you oppose me today? Witness my dragon descending leg. Kenshin kicked towards Takasuji. I knew you would do that. So sweet, you fool. Do you think I can fall asleep peacefully? Indeed, you are plotting revenge against me, aren't you, Kenshin? Look at my mighty kick. Oh, is this a long-lost camaraderie at play? Please, allow me to join in. Whig, perish. It's not a Whig, it's gay. Well, it seems that a normal greeting does not suit them. They must learn to coexist, Kenshin, Jinshu, and gay. Teacher Matsuyama smiled with satisfaction before bowing slightly and stepping out of the trio's room. Chapter 6. Where is the natural curl? Takasuji, Kenshin, just wait. I will teach you a lesson. The following morning, after a hearty breakfast, a group of friends arrived, and Matsuyama officially commenced the lesson, which began with a practical swordsmanship class. This thrilled both Kenshin and Takasuji, who immediately requested Matsuyama to provide them with an opportunity to understand each other better. Kenshin, Takasuji. You rascal, how could you be so unwell this morning? Just thinking about that scene from the morning makes both Kenshin and Takasuji feel nauseous. To elaborate, this matter traces back to last night. After a rigorous display of martial arts, a fatigued Kenshin, Takasuji, and Gei collapsed into bed. Upon awakening the next morning, they found themselves embracing the very person they despised most in life, and to their dismay, their lips had even touched. This revelation left both of them utterly appalled, and while they exchanged disdainful glances, an inexplicable emotion began to brew between them. Now, let Kenshin and Takasuji demonstrate their swordsmanship for us, Matsuyama declared. Remember, no harm must come to one another. Rest assured, I absolutely will not injure him. The two insisted, their words punctuated with emphasis. Very well, begin. As soon as Matsuyama finished speaking, the two charged forth like arrows released from a bow. I will certainly defeat you. Kenshin, Takasuji, shouted in unison, their wooden swords clashing with a resounding thud. They quickly separated, turned, and swung their blades once more. What is this? Such a feeble strike, Kenshin. It seems your skills are lacking. How infuriating. Your strength is formidable, you rascal. Though Takasuji was secretly astonished, his face remained impassive as he mocked Kenshin in return. Humph. I saw your trembling hand as you gripped the sword. Not one to back down, Kenshin shot back defiantly. With their swords interlocked, they once again separated, commencing a new round of combat. Kenshin, unleash your true abilities. Takasuji, you scoundrel. I simply cannot stand you, rascal. Their furious shouts echoed as they exchanged dozens of blows, narrowly missing one another before Kenshin, with his blade in hand, parried a powerful downward strike from Takasuji and swiftly followed up with a kick. Takasuji, startled, retreated, but Kenshin pressed forward, executing a horizontal slash right before Takasuji, leaving him apprehensive. Although surprised, Takasuji's reflexes were sharp. He swiftly turned and kicked Kenshin's sword, using the momentum to propel himself backward. As Kenshin found himself unable to withstand the might of Takasuji, he began to retreat uncontrollably. Not bad at all, shorty. Kenshin smirked, an inexplicable thrill surging within him. Takasuji pointed his sword at Kenshin, retorting, You're not too shabby yourself, Chinibu. This prompted a furious exchange between the two, oblivious to their astonished classmates, as they charged toward one another, determined to force the other to yield. Teacher Matsuyama, with Kenshin and Takasuji battling like this, I can't help but worry, remarked the onlooker, surprised by Kenshin's ability to hold his own against Takasugi, who had trained in swordsmanship since childhood. Yet, the perilous nature of their attacks left Matsuyama apprehensive that one might be injured if they lost control. Ah, Katsura, this is merely their unique way of communicating. Both are proud individuals, and I believe their impressions of each other will be deeply felt through their swords. Matsuyama observed the duel with a warm smile. Increasingly confident that the three would learn to coexist harmoniously, with a teacher present, they would be safe. Haha, Shorty, you're quite formidable, Kenshin exclaimed, frustration evident as he pulled his sword from the ground. Curse it, I can only execute one technique of the flying heaven sword style, and without a sheath to aid me. One might wonder why Kenshin, lacking the skills of the flying heaven sword style, suddenly appeared to master it. The answer is simple. Having utilized Kenshin's character card, he had perfectly inherited all of Himura's abilities. Although limited by an untrained physique, he was capable of executing one move of the flying heaven sword style, which was sufficient to secure victory, though the absence of a sheath was disheartening. After all, Kenshin could only perform the drawing technique of the sword. It was the most fundamental drawing technique of the flying heaven sword style. Haha, Kenshin, if that's all you've got, Takasugi shouted with exhilaration, then this victory shall be mine. Noticing Kenshin's waning strength, Takasugi charged forward, fully aware that his own body was not significantly superior to Kenshin's. This attack would be his final gamble. Don't get too cocky now, Shorty, he warned. There was no way to enhance his attack power without a sheath, but this was not a life-or-death battle, and it was more than enough. All right, Shorty, I'll teach you a lesson with the drawing technique. He positioned the wooden sword in his left hand, bending his body sideways, placing his left hand on his abdomen, and holding his right hand above the wooden sword. Immediately, an overwhelming aura emanated from him, his eyes fixed intently on Takasugi. The pressure was palpable, absolute pressure. Kenshin, embodying the essence of the flying heaven sword style, though still merely a drawing technique, focused all the momentum before the technique was unleashed, directing it toward Takasugi. Damn it! Takasugi's cold sweat trickled down as he felt he was staring death in the face. Advancing further would lead to a swift, unseen blade that would claim his life. Yet, at this juncture, retreat was not an option, especially with Matsuyama-sensei watching. Matsuyama-sensei is right here, he reminded himself. I cannot back down. Aya! Takasugi roared as he charged towards Kenshin. Beside them, Master Sōjiro stood upright, ready to intervene at any moment to separate the two combatants. Focusing his energy into the blade, he harmonized man and sword, anticipating the trajectory of his opponent's strike. In an instant, with swifter speed, he executed the flying heaven sword style, a fundamental drawing technique. Under the influence of memory, Kenshin coldly discerned Takasugi's fatal weakness. In a flash, their blades clashed, resulting in a draw. Kenshin and Takasugi were equally formidable. Master Sōjiro was astonished. The flying heaven sword style? Could Kenshin truly be the successor? Does this school of thought genuinely exist? Why have I never heard of it? Oh, Master Sōjiro, you are merely overthinking. What transpired was simply Kenshin's powerful strike that sent Takasugi's wooden sword flying. However, his untrained body could not maintain its grip, resulting in an impasse. Is it a draw? They both exclaimed simultaneously, followed by a fit of laughter. In this moment, they finally accepted each other, recognizing one another as reliable comrades. Well then, Takasugi, Kenshin, lying on the ground, extended his hand. Once again, I shall introduce myself. I am Himura Kenshin, with the goal of finding worthy companions to strive alongside. Ah, Takasugi grasped Kenshin's hand tightly. I am Takasugi Shinsuke, with the aim of safeguarding Master Sōjiro. How unambitious of you, Kenshin teased. Yet, as partners, I shall not mind aiding you in achieving your goal. And I as well, exclaimed the exuberant wig-wearing companion, running over. I am Katsura Kagoro, aspiring to become a samurai. Kenshin, Takasugi, let us strive together. Strive for what, you ask? Huh. The three of them currently shared but a singular ambition, Master Sōjiro. Indeed, in their youth, whether it was Jintoki, Takasugi, or the wig-wearer, they all wished to be by Master Sōjiro's side. But alas, that would not be the final outcome. Chapter 7. Time is not valuable. If it were, natural curls wouldn't exist. Just as the chapter title suggests, time is a trifling matter. Although it is often said that an inch of time is an inch of gold, such claims are misleading, for time slips away like a brushstroke, vanishing in an instant. A month passed, during which Kenshin thoroughly bonded with Takasuji and the wig-wearer. As for the other children, they mostly regarded Kenshin and Takasuji with trepidation, resulting in few acquaintances. It must be noted that while Kenshin and Takasuji had genuinely acknowledged one another, the two proud individuals found it challenging to communicate. Throughout the month, their interactions consisted primarily of mutual taunts, leading to fierce clashes in front of their classmates. The adorably naive wig-wearer often assisted Kenshin or occasionally helped Takasuji, while sometimes chiming in with his own remarks. Thus, the trio created a ruckus for an entire month, to the point where even Master Sōjiro became accustomed to their brawls. Meanwhile, their classmates voiced their intent to spectate with enthusiasm. Not enough, still not enough. What is Kenshin up to? He raised a stone high above his head, drenched in sweat under the blazing sun, yet gritting his teeth in defiance. This level of effort is insufficient to defeat Takasuji. Last night, he audaciously placed his foot before my nose. I shall not be called Kenshin unless I strike him down to a point where even Matsunaga-sensei cannot recognize me. Over the course of the month, the relentless system had issued a daily challenge to exercise for 5 hours each day without leaving more than 5 stamina points unused, with a reward of 10 morality points and an enhancement potion. Thus, in pursuit of this task and to hasten his attainment of the physical standards required to master the flying sword style, Kenshin subjected himself to severe self-discipline, rising each morning with vigor. After attending classes, he would often go missing, only to be returned by someone. Besides Matsunaga-sensei, who else could it be? Observing Kenshin being carried back by Matsunaga-sensei day after day for an entire month, Takasuji became envious. And so he dragged his companion, the wig, into the same torturous regimen. However, unlike Kenshin, they lacked his extraordinary stamina, resulting in their early retrieval by Matsunaga-sensei each day. In a certain sense, they were fulfilling their own desires. Kenshin had already mastered techniques such as Dragon Hammer Flash, Tragic, Twin Dragon Flash, and Flying Dragon Flash. Frustrated, he gazed at the display in the air and lamented, "Cursed be it, I still cannot utilize Dragon Nest Flash and Tornado Flash. Is my physical strength still inadequate? At this rate, Takasuji will surpass me." Takasuji, wielding his sword nearby, sensed Kenshin's gaze and immediately mocked him. "What's wrong? Are your hands growing weak? I told you. Kenshin, you are still too inexperienced." "Right, wig?" The wig, hanging upside down from a tree, retorted, "It's not a wig, it's guy. By the way, didn't you in the 95th duel against Takasuji?" Kenshin quipped. "Huh, Takasuji, in the end, you're just mocking me because you can't hold your ground, hoping I will let my guard down and drop the stone. How naive. I would never fall for your tricks." Kenshin, unwilling to back down, quickly exposed Takasuji's intent. "Rest assured, I will outlast you." "Foolish Kenshin." Takasuji's forehead bulged with veins. "Is it only when I give you a beating that you feel at ease? Come on, fool. I will show you why I am Kenshin, and you are merely Takasuji. I will also make you understand why I am your senior, fool." Just as the two were poised to clash, with stones raised and foreheads nearly touching, the wig's discontented voice interrupted. "Matsunaga-sensei said he would be returning today. After 2 days of leave, he is finally coming back. You wouldn't want him to see you two fighting, would you?" With a disdainful huff, the two stepped back, clearly having taken the wig's words to heart. "So, does Matsunaga-sensei say why he went on such a journey?" Kenshin asked, still holding the stone aloft, glancing back at the wig. "I'm not sure, but he mentioned something about the existence of ghouls causing unrest among the villagers, so he decided to investigate." The wig jumped down from the tree, grabbing a water bottle below and drinking greedily. "Ghouls." Kenshin's expression turned blank. "Is Kaneki with them? Or maybe Haze?" "Foolish Kenshin." Takasuji, unwilling to yield, lifted a stone with one hand and remarked, "I hear it's a demon that feasts on human corpses, another victim of this chaotic era." With a glance at the health gauge displayed in the air, which read below 5, Kenshin promptly discarded the stone. "Let us return to the private school. Perhaps teacher Matsuyama has returned." Takasuji conceded without protest, aware that his stamina had reached its limit. Harsh jibes would benefit neither of them. "Hey, come over and support me." X2. "Huh, why should I support you? My legs are numb." X2. "Hey, who are you?" As Kenshin approached the private school, he caught sight of a tuft of white hair swaying beneath the large tree where he often reclined. He sent Takasuji and the wig away, instructing them to head back first and approach the tree, drawn to the child with a head of naturally curly white hair, feeling an inexplicable sense of familiarity. In an instant, the curly-haired boy drew his sword and slashed horizontally. Kenshin's eyes widened as he swiftly unsheathed the Muramasa from his pack. As mentioned previously, the long and short blades of Muramasa do not require exchange, and adeptly parried the blow. Hey, that was an attempt on my life. The boy remained silent, retreating rapidly. Sword in hand, eyeing Kenshin warily. Hey, this is rather troubling. It's not my style to let a blow go unanswered. The moment he grasped the Muramasa, Kenshin felt an unsettling urge, a singular thought dominating his mind, to slay this impudent child. Well then, here I come. Flying heaven sword style, flying dragon flash. He lunged forward, eager to gauge the boy's worth. The boy's eyes narrowed sharply as he deflected Kenshin's strike with the hilt of his sword, but Kenshin, in a leap, seized the opportunity to bring down his blade with force. Flying heaven sword style, dragon hammer flash, smash. To his astonishment, the boy managed to catch the blow. However, Kenshin was undeterred, and as the strike was blocked, he thrust the scabbard towards the boy's face, believing that this hit would render the boy incapable of continuing as the protagonist. Stop! A desperate shout snapped Kenshin back to clarity, the scabbard halting just 10 centimeters from the boy's face. Teacher Matsuyama, Takasuji the Whig. Kenshin sheathed his sword, internally questioning. What just happened? Did I truly want to kill him? Jintoki, are you unharmed? Teacher Matsuyama rushed to the boy's side, anxiously checking for injuries. Kenshin, what transpired here? There was a hint of anger in his voice. No one wished to witness their disciples engaged in mutual destruction. Before Kenshin could respond, Jintoki interjected. This guy was just playing with me, no worries. Oh, is he defending me? Kenshin was taken aback, yet followed Jintoki's lead. Really? Teacher Matsuyama regarded the two with skepticism. Sakata Jintoki, pleased to meet you. After a moment of silence, Jintoki introduced himself, his gaze fixed intently on Kenshin. Hidokiri Kenshin. Kenshin replied with an expression of calm, meeting Jintoki's gaze without flinching. You truly deserve this name. With his eyelids lowered, Jintoki lifted his head, revealing a smile. Matsuyama, Kenshin, Takasuji, and the one with the wig were momentarily taken aback. This was an unrestrained smile, emanating from the depths of his heart. The faint silver light, although feeble, was the most radiant glow amidst the shadows of a tumultuous past. Chapter 8. An oath destined to be unfulfilled. Kenshin, how did you acquire this sword? At that moment, the 5 individuals entered the private school, which had already closed for the holidays since Matsuyama had stepped out. Within the room, there was only 1 adult and 4 children. And Matsuyama, who was rarely seen with a sword, held the Muramasa with a serious demeanor as he inquired of Kenshin. Kenshin's lips twitched as he glanced at the curious expressions cast by Takasuji and the one with the wig. He realized it was time to showcase his Oscar-worthy acting skills. A few days ago, while training in the woods, I stumbled upon a dying samurai. As I promised him a dignified burial, he entrusted me with his weapon. With pure eyes and unpretentious gestures, he delivered his lines flawlessly. Is that so? Matsuyama sighed. He had no reason to doubt Kenshin, for it was indeed a chaotic era, and it was not unusual for a gravely injured samurai to seek refuge here. Moreover, he trusted that Kenshin would not deceive him. He believed in his student. Very well, then. Matsuyama returned the sword to Kenshin, saying, This is a relic from another. Be sure to keep it safe. Indeed, Kenshin accepted the sword, his thoughts drifting. This is a legacy from the wandering swordsman Kenshin. I shall safeguard it with great care. As you can see, on this outing, I have brought back this child, who is known among the villagers as the ghoul. Matsuyama pulled Jintoki closer, introducing him to Takasuji and the one with the wig. He is a very pitiable child. Please treat him kindly. The one with the wig immediately became excited. I am Katsura Kotaru, not a wig. Jintoki regarded him with a pair of lifeless eyes, unfazed by the wig's eager gaze. Oh, wig. It's not a wig, it's Katsura. Ignoring the increasingly agitated wig, Takasuji extended his hand with a cold smile. I am Takasuji Shinsuke. Pleased to meet you. As Jintoki reached out, he suddenly felt a force squeezing his hand, causing his eyes to widen in surprise. This guy? Is he trying to intimidate me? TCH. The two of them exerted their strength, attempting to overpower one another. One was haughty, while the other had no sense of decency. Although the latter's demeanor was not immediately apparent, he was undeniably a person of surprising pride. After a minute of handshaking, even Matsuyama noticed something was amiss. It's a pleasure to meet you. X2. Damn, what immense strength. X2. As the four, having initially acquainted themselves, quickly grew familiar with one another, Matsuyama decided to inform the villagers of his return, signaling the commencement of classes. The four of them silently evaded the sun, making their way to the spot where Kenshin and Gintoki had drawn their swords moments earlier. So, Gintoki, are you the ghoul the villagers speak of with such curiosity? From his position on the left, Kenshin suddenly inquired. Indeed. A faint, emotionless voice responded. What? Are you disdaining me? No. Kenshin playfully tapped Gintoki on the head, saying, in contrast to you, I was a slave before being rescued by Master Sōjiro. The three were taken aback. Most of the students currently attending the private academy, like myself, were saved from the clutches of slave traders by Master Sōjiro. Kenshin shielded his eyes from the sun, adding, thus, Master Sōjiro is irreplaceable to me. Without him, I might have been taken to an unknown place, transformed, or perhaps even perished. Gintoki and the others remained silent, listening attentively to Kenshin's narrative. From the moment I first laid eyes on you, Gintoki, I sensed a certain danger about you. Yet, I still trust you, as does Master Sōjiro. Turning to Gintoki, he asked, will you be my companion as we pursue the goals shared with Katsura? Before Gintoki could respond, Katsura interrupted with a frown. Kenshin, are you really including him? It's fine. Katsura, for once, Gintoki seems normal. Do you doubt Master Sōjiri's judgment? I believe Gintoki is not a ghoul. What a naive thought. Gintoki scoffed, rest assured. I can survive on sweets alone. If you promise me desserts, I'll agree to your proposition. Oh, I see. Now I finally understand the purpose of the rewards from before. Kenshin smiled slightly, discreetly unveiling the red bean cake he had received during a previous task. Where did you get that red bean cake? Gintoki exclaimed in astonishment, only to suddenly look terrified. Wait, Kenshin, are you a monster? How else could you conjure a red bean cake so effortlessly? Get lost. Kenshin shouted in exasperation. I merely retrieved it from the kitchen. Wait. I remember there are no sweets in the academy's kitchen. Katsura said in disbelief. Could it be that you are indeed a monster? Kenshin, who had previously concealed his sweets, was now performing with the flair of an Oscar-winning actor. However, in front of someone with a sweet tooth, was he truly prepared to reveal such secrets? Then I shan't hold back. Gintoki exclaimed, ravenous. Stop, you fool. Kenshin kicked Gintoki away and instructed Katsura. Katsura, go fetch 3 plates. It's Katsura, not Katsura, he corrected, hastily running towards the academy. Soon enough, he returned cheerfully with 3 plates in hand. 1 for each. It's a pity about my red bean cake. Consuming it would permanently increase one's strength by 12 points. However, 3 points each isn't bad. Despite his internal lament, Kenshin solemnly divided the red bean cake into 4 pieces. All right, let us vow over this red bean cake that the 4 of us will always be together and protect Master Sōjiro. Brothers for life. Kenshin shouted excitedly. But is it really all right to vow over a red bean cake? You all just devoured it. Quickly, my beloved red bean cake. Gintoki, it's been ages since I last savored you. Oh, how fortunate it is to enjoy such delicious red bean cake. Hey, Kenshin, yours is the biggest. I demand a trade. Fool, I hadn't even finished speaking before you swallowed it. The response need not be identical. The unwavering gaze of 4 individuals conveys their steadfast determination. This marks their inaugural oath, their first encounter, as they pledge to protect what is most precious. Chapter 9. The long-awaited daily life. It has now been 3 days since Gintoki arrived at the private school. Throughout these days, Master Matsuyama has shown remarkable attentiveness towards Gintoki, even entrusting him with his own sword, which has sparked a deep-seated jealousy in Takasuji. Naturally, the number of those who partake in daily trials has increased with the addition of a silver-haired natural curl, whose fervor rivals that of Kenshin. Observing Gintoki's subtle advancements in various aspects, Takasuji cannot help but redirect his previous scorn aimed at Kenshin towards Gintoki. Gintoki, for his part, often meets Takasuji's ire with his trademark deadpan stare, leaving Takasuji exasperated. Kenshin, amused, watches from the sidelines alongside his wig, occasionally adding fuel to the fire, provoking the two into escalating banter. The 4, often caught in a whirlwind of antics, invariably find themselves under the light-hearted reprimand of Master Matsuyama, and thus, they humbly submit to the charm of his smile. As a gentle breeze flows, it is now noon, yet the sunlight, tender and soft, cascades upon the people like a delicate veil, warming them to the point of drowsiness. Just then, a series of playful sounds emerge. Upon closer inspection, one finds a group of children laughing and frolicking along the path. Among them stands a man with gray hair, his refined visage illuminated by a warm and healing smile as he watches the children. By his side, a boy with long black hair and another with short purple locks remain closely tethered to him, never straying far. Occasionally, curious exclamations and joyous laughter erupt. In the rear of this lively gathering, a red-haired boy clad in a red and white kimono walks side by side, with a silver-haired boy sporting natural curls, their eyes discreetly glancing towards their companions in the distance, eliciting an ambiguous chuckle. "Hey, Kenshin, where's your cross-shaped scar?" Jintoki's teasing voice rings out. I refuse to acknowledge a Kenshin without a cross scar. "Hey, Jintoki," comes the disgruntled reply. "What nonsense are you spouting? Don't assume I haven't seen it. You fool. I have no desire to bear the burden of Kenshin's fate. Or are you cursing me with your words?" Kenshin with a scar can wield the Hitin Mitsurujiryu, Jintoki declares with mock seriousness, gazing at Kenshin earnestly. Kenshin, having discerned Jintoki's character over the past few days, cannot be swayed by his words. A Kenshin without a scar is just the Hidokiri Badasai. "You fool. Didn't trick you, did I? I was even thinking of drawing a cross scar on your face." Jintoki grumbles, his discontent evident, which only serves to further frustrate Kenshin. "You deserve to be a natural curl for life. Hey, don't conflate me with that shorty, always acting so haughty. And that wig, it's infuriating. Why does he have such smooth, long black hair?" Complaints of dissatisfaction quickly morph into resentment toward the wig. "This is the choice of the Steins, Gate." Kenshin, with a serious demeanor, declared, "The gorilla of this world has informed me that in this life, the next, and the life after that, you will forever remain a natural curl." Huh? Jintoki instantly adopted a deadpan expression. "What nonsense is this? No wonder you have not become the true Himura Kenshin. A genuine Kenshin would never utter such venomous vows." "Huh. I could master the Tenkai Shosen in mere years." "You fool. Humph. Until then, you are but a counterfeit." The two of them continued to bicker, exchanging barbs, yet this was merely their unique form of communication. As previously mentioned, aside from the naturally oblivious one with the wig, the other three were all tsundere. "All right, everyone, let's get to work," shouted Soya, clapping his hands. "Today's task is to help the villagers clear the weeds from the vegetable patches. And Kenshin and Jintoki, hurry up." "TCH, you slowpokes," Tsugumi scoffed, eyeing the lagging duo. "Hey, Jintoki, Kenshin," the wig-wearing one called out loudly. Hey, Tsugumi, looking at your privileged demeanor, I wonder who the real slacker is." "Hey, you two were just entangled a moment ago." At Tsugumi's taunt, the two instantly united against him. "Have you two developed a bond in these past few days that even I, the author, am unaware of?" "Humph, that is still better than being a natural curl," Tsugumi retorted, his sarcasm sharp, causing Jintoki to flare up immediately. Hey, are you discriminating against natural curls? Be careful, or the entire world of natural curls will curse you." "Silence," the wig-wearing one asserted, eager to assert his authority as the leader. "We are merely here to work, not to debate the merits of natural curls." Kenshin sighed, face-palming. "Wig, there's a cat over there." Where?" The wig-wearer looked around in wonder, proving himself utterly hopeless. "Idiot wig. Not idiot wig, but idiot K. Fool. Kenshin, let us have a contest." High and full of confidence, Tsugumi stood before a patch of vegetables, challengingly addressing Kenshin. "Let this be our 147th duel. Don't belittle me for taking my time weeding, Kenshin." Tsugumi's veins throbbed with indignation. According to the script, shouldn't you be more interested in Jintoki? Why come seeking me? TCH, that guy is no match for me. My sole aim has always been to trample you underfoot. Hey, I can't just let that slide. What do you mean he is not my opponent? Jintoki, who had been lazing about, was suddenly pulled into the fray by Tsugumi's mockery, stepping forward to confront him with fierce determination. "Please, can you even defeat Kenshin? The only thing you could possibly defeat me with is that natural curl I could never possess." "Fool, I will compete with you. I shall defeat you in the name of all natural curls." "Who are you calling a fool? Whoever has the character Sugi in their name is who I'm talking about." "How detestable." Tsugumi yanked the wig-wearing one, who was directing everyone in weeding, closer. "Wig, you shall serve as the judge between me and the natural curls." A competition? Can I participate? Just be a good judge." A rare division at last. The three fools have departed. Kenshin let out a sigh of relief, proclaiming, "All right, Even weeding can serve as a form of training. He summoned the Muramasa from the depths of space, though it was actually a modified version of the original. Renamed to avoid sharing the same fate as the wandering swordsman, Kenshin. With the Muramasa now affixed to his side, he assumed the distinctive stance of the Hiten Mitsurujiryu. If the crescent moon technique could not be exchanged, it must imply that one's physical prowess had reached a level capable of manifesting sword energy. Yet the malfunctioning system audaciously introduced the crescent moon technique. Was it truly a jest? Kenshin gradually exhaled, regulating his breath. In that fleeting moment before unsheathing his sword, he resolved to maintain a calm, composed heart. Suppressing the urge to voice his complaints, Hiten Mitsurujiryu, draw and slash. A swift horizontal strike cleaved through the grass before him, yet the blade remained a distance from the foliage. To utilize the crescent moon technique prematurely, he must first master the art of rapid unsheathing, akin to the foundation of Hiten Mitsurujiryu. He sought to use the sword to guide the airflow, entwining it around the blade, allowing it to flow forth, thereby slicing through the air to create the transparent sword mark. Was this the crescent moon technique? Reflecting upon the memories of the wandering swordsman, Kenshin could not help but marvel. It must be said that the wandering swordsman was indeed an extraordinary swordsman, having devised such techniques even in the twilight of his life, when he could no longer wield his sword. Had time permitted, he might have reached heights unimaginable to an ordinary person. If I draw my sword 10,000 times, surely I can achieve today's goal. Kenshin sheathed his sword once more, gathering his strength. The patch of grass before him began to tremble in response to his strike. Slash, draw, whoosh, sheath, slash, draw. Mitsuyama was elated as he observed his disciples. He had never felt such joy as he did today. During his travels, he had witnessed countless instances of helplessness. Too many things humanity could not change, and gradually, he had succumbed to despair. After finally resolving to immerse himself in the shogunate, he was deeply hurt by its inaction. Resigned, he had temporarily compromised, accepting the shogunate's command for a respite. Then, on his way back to the village, he encountered this group of children, followed by Takasuji and Katsura, and then the seemingly indifferent yet caring Jintoki. He felt he no longer wished to return to his previous life. He had discovered a lifestyle that suited him, one that brought him genuine happiness and heartfelt contentment. Hey, Kenshin. And there he saw Kenshin, hidden away, practicing alone. Mitsuyama-sensei. Chapter 10. There is too much helplessness in life. I just want to be myself on the outskirts of the grass, distanced from where Jintoki and the others were. Mitsuyama and Kenshin exchanged glances. One wore a smile, while the other, maintaining his drawn sword posture, appeared bewildered. Mitsuyama-sensei. After a moment of surprise, Kenshin nonchalantly resumed his training regimen before Mitsuyama. Why did Kenshin not join them? With a smile, Songyang walked to a distance away from Kenshin and curiously inquired. I have no desire to engage in such meaningless tasks as weeding. I shall not relinquish any opportunity to hone my skills, no matter how trivial the aspects of life may be. Kenshin responded while practicing his sword-drawing technique. I am not yet strong enough. What could Kenshin's relentless training be for? Songyang continued to probe, evidently eager to comprehend Kenshin fully today. Surely I cannot confess that it is to protect you. Kenshin silently scoffed, yet remained resolutely tight-lipped, unable to utter such an embarrassing sentiment. Do you not wish to share? Songyang's smile faltered slightly. Well then, could you tell me if it is true that one of your ancestors was named Himura Kenshin? You know, from that manga? Kenshin's hand trembled, and the unsteady Muramasa slipped from his grasp, flying off to the side. After a considerable pause, he processed this seemingly remarkable revelation. What a joke. I do not even know who my ancestors are. Since the moment I was born, all I have are memories of living alone. I apologize, Kenshin. I did not anticipate this would cause you discomfort, Songyang said, his expression filled with regret, realizing that this was indeed a painful truth for his disciple. Yet Kenshin had inadvertently torn it open without mercy. Not at all. Kenshin reassured, silently awarding himself high marks for his Oscar-worthy performance as he retrieved the Muramasa. Hey, Kenshin. Songyang's voice came softly, tinged with melancholy. You are the first person I've seen who works so diligently. As a teacher, I have failed both as a subject and as a disciple. Why do you say that? Kenshin queried, continuing to swing his sword. As a teacher, I was once someone else's disciple. However, after my training was complete, my master traveled abroad and never returned. When the heavenly beings attacked, I worked as a subject in the shogunate, longing to expel them. Yet, when I accepted the position of shogun, I had already severed my ties with the shogunate. When I finally yearned to revisit the place where I learned my craft, I discovered that neither the people nor the circumstances remained the same. Kenshin was taken aback. Could it be that the ever-joyful and warm-hearted Sanyang had once endured such suffering? There was nothing left, only a dilapidated house. Thus, I resolved to become a teacher. To guide every child who suffers due to war, Sonyang's voice grew ever softer, hinting at a deep-seated emotion that he suppressed, refusing to let it surface. Then I met you all, one after another, each one a treasured gem to me. Kenshin had halted his swordplay long before Sanyang finished recounting his tale. Hey, teacher, you seem to have it all wrong. To us, you are our treasure. Observing the playful antics of Gintoki and his companions in the distance, Kenshin turned back to Sanyang with earnestness. Regardless of the past, it is you who has given us the courage to continue living. Though your past was fraught with hardship, is it not true that you are happy now? People must look forward, teacher. No one can perpetually dwell on their past. Kenshin once again assumed a stance, declaring, as our pillar, you should not display such an expression. Come on, give Kenshin a smile. Sanyang, rendered speechless, gazed at Kenshin who was still immersed in training, and felt all the unease within him dissipate. He had indeed discovered his purpose and now experienced true happiness. The only thing left for him to do was to guide these children into adulthood. With this thought, he took another look at the precocious child before him, saying, thank you. Coughing, Kenshin, momentarily stunned by Sonyang's sudden gratitude and radiant smile, steadied himself and resumed his training with precision in front of Sanyang. Ahem. Here the author wishes to interject, subtitles. You're merely courting disaster. If this continues, Kenshin, within a month you'll find yourself bending. Ha! Flying sword style, double dragon flash, lightning. Sinai. Ignoring the author's antics, the subtitles continued, just as Safis was about to unleash his. Oops, wrong scene, my bad. I am but a humble cypress, for you still cannot surpass me. It appeared the competition had concluded. Gintoki, brimming with pride, gazed at the fallen Takasugi with a triumphant expression, declaring, my chabi is boundless. Fool. Though you may not accept it, Takasugi, you are simply out of stamina. That is an undeniable fact. Very well, I hereby announce the victor of this match is. The wig straightened up, lifting its head, Katsura Kotaru. Gintoki, launching a kick at the wig's face, exclaimed, what is this, wig? Why can't you just announce that I, Gintoki, have won? And you are merely the referee. Fool. It's not a wig, it's Katsura. The wig once again valiantly rose. Look. It silently extended its hand, pointing toward a heap of tall grass nearby. Fool. So you weren't refereeing, but rather pulling weeds. Gintoki, once more exasperated, struck down the wig. Heavens. Please send down a divine light to purify my wounded spirit, and another to completely block this wig's brain and take it away. Humph. Takasugi once again took over for the fallen wig. It seems our contest is still unresolved. It has already been determined. Gintoki stood before the grass pile now ignited by flames. Fool, how can I possibly critique this? That's a farmland right next to us. If you continue to burn it, the farmers will weep. They truly will. Look, they are all rushing over, fool. And where did that fire even come from? Or could it be that you, Gintoki, are the true monster? As the villagers arrived, they finally managed to extinguish the fire. Gintoki, realizing he could no longer suppress his desire to critique, awkwardly stood aside, awaiting a reprimand from teacher Sanyang. What kind of look is that, Takasugi? That expression of you should just die, and then teacher Sanyang will be mine. What is that about? Should I send you off to Namek? Fool. And you, wig, what is with that look of I know nothing? But Gintoki, you should just die. Is it true that my previous wish has been granted? You have actually woken up to reality. I'm sorry. As soon as Master Sanyang appeared, he expressed his sincere apologies, exclaiming, my disciple is truly too willful. The presence of Master Sanyang immediately quelled the little antics of Gintoki and the others, who stood aside with expressions of regret. It became evident that before Master Sanyang, each of them was an actor of unparalleled prowess. Master Sanyang, this disciple is exceedingly mischievous, lamented a villager, his face contorted in despair. Alas, even my crops have been uprooted. I sincerely apologize. I will compensate you accordingly. True to his benevolent nature, Master Sanyang reassured him. You shall not be troubled in the least. Well, not exactly, the villager replied, scratching his head somewhat sheepishly. Things at home are fine, but such actions will indeed cause distress for everyone. Rest assured, today was merely an unfortunate incident. Master Sōjiro bowed in apology, promising, "It shall not happen again." With their concerns alleviated, the villagers departed contentedly, while Master Sōjiro turned to face Gintoki and the others. As the three stood there, apprehensive, he gently patted their heads and said, "Now, let us continue. This time, let us all strive to avoid mistakes." "Yes, Master Sōjiro," they responded in unison. Chapter 11. From theory to practice. With autumn having passed, winter once again descended upon them. And it had been a year since Kenshin and the others had been together in the private school, each having grown in various ways. Of course, the strongest among them remained the four, famously known as the invincible Kenshin, who could only be defeated by Gintoki, and the few who could best him, only by Takasuji, or only by the wig, had now entered the depths of winter. On a particularly chilly day, sunlight bathed the snow-covered ground, casting a radiant glow. Inside the private school, Master Sōjiro led the students in their studies, his voice resonating far and wide. Meanwhile, Gintoki, clutching a sword, dozed off, his demeanor far removed from the lewdness of his future self. His serene visage evoked a desire not to disturb him. Conversely, Kenshin and Takasuji were locked in a fierce gaze, each intent on catching the other in a mispronunciation as they read aloud. This marked their 477th duel of the year. Every victory, in any sense, provided ample opportunity for the two to mock one another. The wig, on the other hand, wore a serious expression, vigilantly surveying the surroundings. Any sign of distraction would earn a swift reprimand, indicating that he had fully embraced the role of class leader. Just a month prior, a new phenomenon had emerged within the system, leaving Kenshin perplexed. Why was there a countdown? And with 10 days remaining, wasn't he that the third day of the new year? What could this possibly mean? Kenshin never pondered what he could not comprehend. He simply opted to go with the flow. Shortly thereafter, it was time for Kenshin's training report. A year has passed since Matsuyang rescued me in early summer. Following that, I underwent memory training for an entire year, consuming a vial of enhancement potion each day. Now, I have mastered all the sword techniques of the flying sword style except for the heavenly dragon flash. Although the nine-headed dragon flash exhausts me, this flawed system has remained unchanged, aside from the recent appearance of a countdown. There are no tasks, making it feel like a mere imitation. Had it not been for the daily tasks, I might have forgotten about this system altogether. Nonetheless, it is worth celebrating that my integrity has finally accumulated to 900, and I am on the verge of redeeming it. How delightful. Now, let us rest for 30 minutes. Remember, everyone, we have swordsmanship class later, Matsuyang announced loudly. Additionally, in a few days, the celebration will take place. Everyone must prepare well to welcome the new year. Cheers erupted. Even Takasuji and the wig joined in. Jin-san, awakened by the commotion, said nothing but silently observed, occasionally revealing a hint of warmth. "Hey, Jin-san, I have some desserts," Ken said. "Is it in the box on top of the cabinet?" "I'm sorry, but I transcended it early this morning," Jin-san's lazy voice responded as he sat beside Ken. "So, what is the real reason you lured me over with desserts? If you can't articulate the matter at hand, I might just transcend you as well." "Well, I just wanted to ask if you need to go clothing shopping together later," Ken replied in a sullen tone. Not having clothes for the celebration is a significant issue. Damn it. Why has it been a year and I still haven't attracted any cute girls? Who said there were plenty of girls from other worlds? Step forward, and I promise not to harm you. Huh, what nonsense are you spouting? Jin-sen said, digging in his nose. Where's my jump? Without it, I would perish. It perished heroically yesterday during a tussle with Takasuji. Ken silently crossed his heart. How did your 477th duel with Takasuji go? He continued, still digging. It's akin to the ill-fated relationship between Kakashi and Mike in Naruto. Hey, Jin-san. Ken withdrew a few steps. Takasuji heard that. Damn that curly-haired fool. With a kick reminiscent of a blind monk's decisive strikes, he landed a blow on Jin-san's chest. Unfortunately, Jin-san, like a robot, swiftly caught Takasuji's foot. Then it turned into a scene resembling a chaotic battle from Dynasty Warriors. Alright, next up is Ken versus Jin-san. Just 30 minutes. And it feels like a year has gone by in an instant. The two students who had just finished their duel hurriedly descended, joking, as everyone knew that the swordsmanship classes involving those four always resulted in earth-shattering clashes. I'm so weak, I can't handle it. I thought it would be Takasuji. Jin-san, looking weary, stepped onto the field, unfazed by the intense gaze of his peers. What a pity. I thought it would be the Whig or Takasuji. Ken took a wooden sword from a classmate nearby. Their fights are utterly boring. Hey, is your fighting merely for amusement? It takes a fierce battle for you to deem it a genuine clash. Are you subtly suggesting that Takasuji and the one with the wig are feeble? Look, they're almost charging at us, you fools. Well, I suppose it's not entirely out of the question. The two spoke in unison. In an instant, a silver flash darted forth as Gintoki made the first move. After all, you are the one I wish to challenge. Lowering his stance and assuming the flying heaven sword style, Kenshin gazed at Gintoki as he approached, lowering his center of gravity, prepared to meet Gintoki's thunderous strike. Show me. Can you truly master the flying heaven sword style, Kenshin? With a fierce roar, Gintoki twisted his waist and delivered a powerful slash aimed at Kenshin. Huh. You shall regret this. With a slight movement of his foot, he swiftly drew his blade, flying heaven sword style, draw sword technique. The unscabbarded wooden sword struck forth in an instant, colliding with Gintoki's wooden blade, producing a deep, resonant impact. Humph, it should have been the twin dragon flash. You fool. Gintoki grinned with pride. You only resorted to the draw sword technique because you lack a scabbard. You are mistaken. Kenshin slowly smirked. I believe the draw sword technique is more than sufficient, you fool. With strength, he pushed Gintoki away, and during this battle with such an opponent, Kenshin began to awaken memories of his past as the draw sword master. Anyone can boast. Gintoki charged once more, delivering a straightforward thrust toward Kenshin. Huh. Don't think I am limited to the flashy moves from manga. Kenshin smiled slightly, flying heaven sword style, returning dragon flash, self-created. Kenshin used the blade of his wooden sword to glide along the side of Gintoki's blade, employing the principle of using 4 ounces to deflect 1,000 pounds, diverting Gintoki's thrust, and then mercilessly swung his left hand toward Gintoki. Gintoki was taken aback, realizing he could not evade this strike. But a sudden flash of insight allowed him to swiftly pivot his body, narrowly avoiding Kenshin's fist as it swiped past his nose. As Gintoki landed, a cold glint flickered in his eyes, and he charged at Kenshin with his body, but Kenshin seemed to have anticipated this, sidestepping Gintoki and jumping away from his side. Indeed, just as Kenshin moved away, Gintoki's wooden sword struck the ground with a crash. Hey, Kenshin, you truly are a tough opponent. Gintoki chuckled wryly, waving his hand. The flying heaven sword style is quite unfair. You could learn it yourself, like the spiral sword or the 3,000 troublesome wind. Came Kenshin's playful voice. TCH, all of my skills, I have comprehended on my own, you fool. Gintoki scratched his head in annoyance. Let me ask, have you mastered the heavenly soaring dragon flash yet? Kenshin paused. That technique is far beyond my reach. Oh, Gintoki licked his lips in excitement. That's good. You Haven T acquired that unfair move. Battling someone like you brings me great joy. It's not the noble swordsmanship of Takasuji, nor the conventional style of the one with the wig. What I truly appreciate is someone like you. It seems we share some similarities, don't we? Kenshin once again assumed the stance of the flying heaven sword style. Come. Indeed, men ought to communicate through swords. Not like those two who merely converse amicably. With a roar, they charged at each other. Any words we have can wait until after the fight. Those two fools. Takasuji's veins bulged with frustration. Are you mocking me even in battle? Do not fret, Jinsuk, replied the wig, turning around with a smile. I have added a delightful ingredient to their dinner. Fear not, my big-breasted friend. It was the 12th chapter, filled with anxiety before the celebration and the store manager. That battle had occurred 7 days prior, and after it, Gintoki and Kenshin, having been thoroughly ridiculed by the wig's bowl of beans, lamented their sleepless night spent in the restroom. Consequently, when they arrived at class the next morning, sporting dark circles under their eyes, they startled Matsunoyama. Upon learning the reason, Matsunoyama could not help but chuckle. Following this, Gintoki and Kenshin sought out Takasuji and the wig, and the four engaged in a fierce bout before finally calling it quits. Today was the day of the celebration, akin to the spring festival in my great homeland. After this day, a new year would dawn. The students, having been let out early, joyfully returned home to prepare for a meaningful celebration with Matsunoyama. Meanwhile, the four companions, without a home to return to, declared, "We must team up to buy clothes." As the new year approached, both the village and the nearby town were awash with festive cheer. At this moment, Kenshin and his companions strolled through the town. Except for the city-born Wig and Takasuji, Gintoki and the time-traveling Kenshin had never witnessed such scenes, leading them to curiously gaze about. They occasionally dashed over to inspect others' stalls or exclaimed in wonder at unfamiliar sights. This seemingly foolish behavior, in Takasuji's eyes, repeated itself. Oblivious to the bulging veins on his forehead. "Hey, keep your distance. I do not know you two. What's your problem, Takasuji?" Gintoki retorted, holding a mask in his left hand and shooting Takasuji a deadpan look. "It's a celebration, after all. We should revel in joy instead of wearing long faces all day. You'll age prematurely, you know. I am not like some people, turning white before their time." Takasuji shot back viciously. "I am the protagonist. Did you not know that protagonists in Jump are usually silver-haired, Takasuji?" He obnoxiously picked his nose. "Someone like you is merely my little sidekick." "Hey, am I not the main character of this tale?" Kenshin interjected, momentarily taken aback before loudly asserting his status as the male lead. "Silence," the Wig shouted impatiently. "Our task today is to buy clothes. Can we refrain from discussing anything else?" "Wig, I think it would be better if you set down that fluffy ball you're holding. This is the place. The one recommended by Matsunoyama." The Wig gazed in wonder at the bustling entrance. "Is it always this lively?" "Ah, well, it is the new year. People come to buy clothes." Gintoki slapped the Wig on the shoulder. "Come on in, you lot." After a strenuous effort, the four finally escaped the throngs of people and stepped into a clothing store named Aji. The vibrant apparel adorned every corner, with men and women either discussing the latest fashion or greeting acquaintances with surprise. Meanwhile, several determined ladies haggled at the counter, all of which reflected the bustling business of the shop. "Wow, look over there," exclaimed Gintoki dramatically. "That outfit is, oh my goodness, it's the Death Baza outfit from Death." Takasuji swiftly covered Gintoki's mouth. "Be quiet, you fool. Can't you see everyone is staring at us?" "I want that one," Kenshin exclaimed, his eyes fixed on a particular garment. The top resembled a black bathrobe, while the bottom flowed like a kimono skirt, adorned with a red ornament at the waist, harmoniously complemented by a side of rice-colored silk. Hey, Kenshin, you have such discerning taste," Hijikata remarked, a grimace on his face as he glanced at the price tag. "Even if we sold all four of us, we couldn't afford it." "Indeed," came a voice from the side. "But you are the disciples of Matsuyama, aren't you? Gay, are you the legendary store manager?" Gintoki managed to break free from Takasuji's grip. Hey, I don't recall becoming a legend," came the manager's resigned response. "Matsuyama entrusted me with your outfits, which have long been prepared. Follow me." Matsuyama does have a keen eye. These outfits are indeed suitable for you." The manager nodded appreciatively as the four emerged in their new attire. Gintoki wore a black bathrobe-style kimono, paired with loose trousers reminiscent of the Death Bazaar outfit, creating a striking yet harmonious black and white appearance. Hijikata donned a gray and white kimono similar to Matsuyama's, his long black hair cascading down his back, and the patterned bathrobe beneath added a touch of femininity. Takasuji was clad in the outfit he wore during his debut in the series. However, at 13, he appeared more youthful and charming. Kenshin, of course, sported the aforementioned attire, maintaining his signature stoic expression. "Hey, am I not the protagonist here, you fool? Don't just gloss over my introduction. I am the main character of this chapter. Readers might get confused. This evening will be lively, and your teacher Matsuyama will be bringing your classmates as well." The manager sat down and earnestly added, "This is your first event, so temper your personalities." Yeah, the four replied nonchalantly. "All right, you should stay in the courtyard at the back for now. Remember, don't wander off." The manager reiterated, exasperated. "How bothersome, you background character." Gintoki casually rested his hand, which had just been in his nose, on Kenshin's shoulder. "Stop trying to draw attention to yourself. Your bento is getting cold." Ultimately, the manager resisted the urge to deliver a beating to Gintoki and turned away. Just as the manager departed, Kenshin seized Gintoki's hand and executed a shoulder throw, casting him out. "Do not touch me with your finger that has rummaged through your nostrils, you fool. Fool, you did this to me. And my clothes are gone as well. You are indeed the most deeply concealed demon. Do not think you can silently eliminate the brave warrior Gintoki." Gintoki twisted his body midair and, after regaining his balance, landed smoothly on the ground, immediately launching into a tirade. You were the one who reached out first." Kenshin, with a disgusted expression, stepped firmly at the doorway. "You, keep your distance, at least until you wash your hands." "TCH, I can't be bothered with you," Gintoki scoffed, tossing his head back. "Hey, Wig, Takasugi, let us go out for a stroll." He then placed his hands on their shoulders. "Get lost. Remove your filthy hands." They both shouted. "Hey, am I truly so despised by you two? Do you think I can make you all leave? It's not you we despise, but your nasal discharge. What is the difference? My nasal discharge is still a part of me. You are indeed rejecting me. Ugh, how revolting. Gintoki, you are truly disgusting, BL-Wig. From now on, keep a greater distance from me, Nasal Discharge Collective. BL Kenshin. Do not claim you know me, you nasal discharge alien. BL Takasugi. You are courting death. Behold my ultimate technique, Nasal Discharge Barrage. Gintoki charged forth with unparalleled grace. Fool, do not come any closer. They cried in unison. The manager, listening to the rumblings and explosions from the courtyard, slowly extracted a lighter and lit a cigarette, placing it between his lips. Matsunaga, your insight is commendable. Although it may not yet be apparent, these 4 children could indeed change this decaying world and accomplish what we could not. Exhaling a breath, but Matsunaga, are you truly certain you can remain with them, progressing towards the goals you envision? Without you, the shogunate has covertly allied with the Celestials. I hope you are truly safe, Matsunaga. Chapter 13. A New Year, signifying the beginning of unease. Matsunaga-sensei. Over here, over here. Following the chaotic afternoon, the 4 individuals, whose outfits had been utterly ruined, entrusted the manager to reorder identical garments. Of course, expecting them to pay is wishful thinking. It was already evening, and the dawn of a new year was steadily approaching. As night deepened, more people appeared, creating a lively atmosphere that illuminated the darkness as if it were day. At the town's entrance, the 4 donned in their new attire waited idly for Matsunaga-sensei's arrival. From a distance, Kenshin, Gintoki, Takasugi, and Katsura could see Matsunaga-sensei's distinctive gray-white hair and the profoundly warm smile upon his face. Matsunaga-sensei, hey. Takasugi, enough already. It's just Matsunaga-sensei looking a bit more festive for the new year. You are blushing. And what else with that bashful expression? Aren't you supposed to be tsundere? Why are you acting like this? Ahem. At this juncture, the author must interject. Although one may exhibit a tsundere disposition, the inevitable blush in the presence of a beloved is undeniably a point of endearment. Indeed, the new attire is quite commendable. Matsunaga, with a smile, affectionately ruffles Takasugi's hair. The teacher has paid a visit to a student's home, and tonight, it shall be just the 4 of us. Hooray. X3. Why X3, you ask? One need only glance at Kenshin to comprehend. You cannot deceive me, Matsunaga-sensei. Regardless, Kenshin is indeed a time traveler, having absorbed all the memories of the wandering swordsman. To claim that his perceptions or insights are flawed would be self-deception. Thus, Kenshin subtly perceives an unusual glimmer in Matsunaga's eyes, while hidden enough to fool Gintoki and the others. Yet he is confident in his judgment. His gaze conveys concern, tinged with a hint of helplessness. Kenshin? Matsunaga, observing Kenshin lost in thought, cannot help but inquire. Is there something amiss with my face? No. Lowering his gaze, Kenshin retracts his stare from Matsunaga, perhaps aware that his gaze was too direct. It is nothing, merely unexpected that they did not join us. Hey. I cannot concur with your assessment, Kenshin. Takasugi, sensing Kenshin's intent to jeopardize this hard-won opportunity, exclaims, what if there are too many people and someone gets lost? It is better if it is just the 4 of us. Ideally, you should vanish as well. You fool. Takasugi's heart silently roars with frustration. Such is the nature of the situation. Matsunaga leads the way, hand in hand with the Wig and Gintoki. After all, this new year holds profound significance for them. It marks the first new year they celebrate with their foster parents. Therefore, we must hasten our departure. Ignoring Takasugi's envious and murderous glare, Gintoki exclaims with exasperation, it has already been far too long. If we don't hurry, there will be no desserts left. Haha. Matsunaga laughs heartily. Gintoki has a point. Let us proceed into town. It is a picturesque scene. A warm-hearted man, smiling radiantly, holds the hand of a boy with naturally curly silver hair. His cheerful demeanor seemingly capable of warming even the coldest of hearts. Nearby, a boy with short purple hair clutches a fluffy meatball. Why indeed is it a meatball? While preventing a tall, dark-haired boy from snatching it away. Slightly behind the man, a red-haired boy, lost in thought, quietly follows. The occasional lift of his head reflecting a sense of contentment and tranquility with his current life. Gintoki, lowering his head, poses a question to Matsunaga. What would happen if one day the teacher were no longer present? Hey, what nonsense are you speaking? Gintoki responds with an unusual seriousness. Do not entertain such thoughts. You shall not go anywhere. Well, it is merely a hypothetical. Matsunaga observes the playful altercation between Takasugi and the wig. The teacher is merely posing a supposition. TCH, wherever you go, I shall follow. The resolute declaration is irrefutable, both for myself and those three fools. No, Gintoki. Sanyang shook his head and said, the teacher once told us that a sword is wielded for the purpose of protection, not for the act of killing, but to embody the spirit of the samurai within oneself. If the teacher is no longer with us, I hope you can grasp the meaning behind the sword I bequeath to you. To wield it for protection? Murmured Jin-san, gazing at Sanyang with confusion. Only to suddenly seem to understand. Isn't that just? But you can't quite say it, can you? If I am no longer here, Jin-san, I entrust everyone to you. Sonyang's words resonated with an ethereal quality, echoing from afar, as if they were close yet eternally out of reach. This filled Jin-san with dread. He did not wish to part from his beloved teacher, not even for a moment. Teacher, he exclaimed, his voice rising slightly, rousing the contemplative Kenshin. Sanyang looked at Jin-san with a hint of surprise. Then his expression softened. Do not worry. How could the teacher ever leave your side? Jin-san murmured again. However, Kenshin had already seen through it all. Soon, night fell and all the townsfolk gathered in one place, eagerly awaiting the final spectacle of the new year, the fireworks. With a series of resounding pops, brilliant fireworks illuminated the night sky, while on the ground, people cheered, celebrating the arrival of a new year. The elderly joked about aging another year, while children, blissfully unaware, shouted in delight. On such a day, it seemed everyone was filled with joy. Hey, look, Jin-san, the excited Wig shouted. That firework looks like a meatball. Oh my. Wig, your brain is beyond salvation. It's not a wig, it's Katsura. TCH. What's all the excitement about? We'll see it every year from now on. By the way, where has Teacher Sanyang gone? Teacher? He said he was going to the restroom. He'll be back soon. Oh, look, another meatball. No, Shinsuke, I feel there is something I must tell you. But where did Kenshin go? He said he was going to buy something to eat. TCH, that glutton. Katsura scoffed. What do you want to tell me? Just now the teacher said. Is that so? I understand. In a dark alley, Sanyang read the letter in his hand with a look of resignation. So it is true? The shogunate has. In that case, this country is no longer ours. The shogunate. A wave of melancholy washed over Sonyang's heart. Who? In a corner, Kenshin stared intently at Sanyang, never averting his gaze. Knowing that his teacher had noticed him, he slowly stepped forward. Kenshin, Sanyang asked, somewhat flustered. Why are you here? From the moment you mentioned going to the restroom, I knew you were concealing something. Kenshin spoke slowly. Is the teacher hiding something? Teacher Sanyang, your acting skills are utterly inadequate in the eyes of this Oscar-worthy performer. If there is nothing to hide, Kenshin stepped closer, exuding an intimidating aura. Show me the letter you're holding. Kenshin. Sanyang was taken aback, then chuckled helplessly. Really, there is nothing to conceal. What? Would the teacher deceive you? It's merely a letter. Kenshin stood his ground unwaveringly. If possible, may I see it? He inquired. Kenshin, do not press the teacher any further. Yet, Kenshin remained obstinate. Very well, Matsuyama retrieved the letter. I shall read it to you. No, I wish to read it myself. Kenshin insisted. You truly do not comprehend what you are worried about, Matsuyama remarked, helplessly handing the letter to Kenshin. As Kenshin perused the letter, his expression fluctuated before settling into an impassive demeanor. I see. The shogunate. So, the initial capture of us as children was merely to serve as subjects for experiments on the heavenly beings? Matsuyama observed Kenshin, feeling a twinge of anxiety. Rest assured, I am not so fragile. Regardless, I shall hold them accountable for this, Kenshin asserted. Matsuyama stepped closer, reclaiming the letter from Kenshin's grasp. This was sent to the teacher by a friend in Edo. He initially did not intend for you to see it. Kenshin suppressed his confusion and glanced at the countdown on the system. 3 days remained. Let us return. Gintoki and the others must be waiting anxiously. Reluctantly, Kenshin turned away. If it were merely the letter, it would not have unsettled him so. Could this dilemma stem not from Matsuyama, but from Gintoki and the others? Observing Kenshin walking ahead, Matsuyama fell silent, his grip on his sleeve tightening, refusing to loosen. With a flick of his hand, A corner of white paper briefly emerged before vanishing entirely into the darkness. Chapter 14. Here we go, the first B-class mission. Amidst the fog, in the background of Kenshin of Gintama. Discover the exclusive story and share your insights about the novel by following the Chidian Chinese Network official account. Add the WeChat friend and input thread. It was a clear morning. Yet why did this foot mar the scenery so? Kenshin lamented, gazing at Gintoki, sprawled carelessly across the floor. Last night, Kenshin shook his head. Recalling the joyous celebration with Gintoki and the others, a smile unconsciously gracing his lips. This was the life he desired. Gintoki, my head. Gintoki exclaimed, sitting up. You scoundrel, you actually hit me with your own head. Do you not know my brain is filled with hundreds of thousands of jump volumes? Be quiet, Gintoki, Kenshin whispered. Last night, you went a bit overboard. Gintoki paused, then awkwardly rubbed his head. I didn't expect you to be so prideful. When you go wild, it's quite something. Forget it. I shall rise and train. Kenshin carefully got up, trying to avoid disturbing Takasuji and the wig. He opened his door, and the morning sunlight poured in. So delightful that Kenshin squinted against it. All right. In this new year, I shall become even stronger. After freshening up and donning his twin swords, Muramesa, Kenshin exited the private school, his destination, the small stream behind the house. It was quite early, and the village was still devoid of activity. Unlike the city, where life begins at dawn, the villagers' routines unfolded busily until noon. Such was the rhythm of life in the village. A day as planned starts in the morning. Flying heaven sword style, tornado flash. From a distance, a towering stone came into view, and without hesitation, Kenshin sprinted towards the giant rock. His left hand secured the scabbard at his waist while his right hand gripped the air. As the stone became distinctly visible, he swiftly rotated his waist, drew his sword, and executed a horizontal slash. Spin. He twisted his body, leaving a profound scar on the giant rock, wind binding. Once again, he twisted and turned. This time with an intense pressure of wind enveloping the sword, lingering around the Muramesa like a blade of energy. It was then that Kenshin struck the giant stone, leaving a fissure deeper and wider than before. Storm. He twisted once more, his sword rising from below, kneeling on the ground and on the stone. A cross-shaped scar remained. The first two slashes marked the same spot. Is this the first version? Kenshin pondered aloud. The tornado flash of the wandering swordsman and the tornado flash of the Batasai. Am I only able to execute the one from my wandering days? Wandering swordsman Kenshin, where lies your limit? Kenshin mumbled. Can a person truly be that powerful? No, Kenshin, his true strength lies within his heart. Startled, Kenshin turned to find Matsuyama, holding vegetables, smiling behind him. Teacher Matsuyama? The flying heaven sword style has been deciphered by countless individuals. It is not an invincible technique. Matsuyama sat beside Kenshin. The true power resides in that unwavering heart. It can be said that the flying heaven sword style only gained its renown in his hands. Hey, teacher. Kenshin looked at Matsuyama helplessly. Where do you place Hijikata Tashizu? Though Hijikata is strong, he lacks a clear goal, so despite his decisiveness in battle, he tends to evade when faced with his disciples or other matters, choosing to express everything through his sword. But that does not suit you. Matsuyama withdrew his gaze from the sky to look at Kenshin, because you are Himura Kenshin, the man who inherited the will of the wandering swordsman. Heart. Kenshin considered the incomprehensible concept of the heart sword within the system. Could that be the reason why the wandering swordsman Kenshin is more formidable than Hijikata? Now Kenshin felt Matsuyama was not truly looking at him, though he spoke directly. Gintoki. What about Gintoki? Kenshin was perplexed. I understand Gintoki very well. He simply struggles to express his feelings. Yet, if others treat him kindly, he would risk his life to protect them, even at the cost of his own injuries or death. Matsuyama's gaze fell upon the private school. Therefore, whether it is Takasuji, Katsura, or you are all individuals he is willing to protect with his life. Do you grasp my meaning? Matsuyama chuckled, affectionately ruffling Kenshin's hair. From now on, I entrust Gintoki to you. Hey. Such a daunting task. I refuse. You should stay by his side. Kenshin grimaced, not comprehending Matsuyama's words. Regardless, concerning that troublesome fellow Gintoki, Kenshin felt it would suffice for the teacher to take care of him. My intention is to convey that today. The four of you will journey to the town we visited yesterday, safeguarding a shipment destined for a distant city. Therefore, should any unforeseen circumstances arise along the way, I beseech you to protect others while ensuring your own safety. I can manage that without your prompting. Kenshin paused, contemplating the inexplicable countdown within the system. Was there a possibility that someone might be harmed during this mission? I suppose I shall take my leave then. Matsuyama bowed slightly, encouraging Kenshin to diligently practice his swordsmanship, tilting his head with a smile. I completely fail to grasp the meaning behind your smile. This is the flustered and accelerated heartbeat of Kenshin. Flying heaven sword style, nine-headed dragon flash. Thus, I find solace. Matsuyama forced a bittersweet smile. Though I cannot ascertain whether it will affect me, I implore you, Kenshin, to be cautious, just in case. Let us embark on this mission. We are to escort a convoy to such a distant city. The exaggerated voice of the wigged one exclaimed. It's so far. Can we not go, Matsuyama-sensei? The remaining Gintoki and Takasuji also cast looks of reluctance towards Matsuyama. That is not an option. Matsuyama, while eating, served portions to each of the four. The teacher has already made a promise to others, and besides, this is an invaluable opportunity for experience. I do not wish to leave my teacher's side. Takasuji murmured quietly. Matsuyama paused. Fear not, it is only for 3 days. Nanny, Gintoki shouted dramatically. So, for 3 days, I, Gintoki, will be deprived of sweets and unable to see jump. No way, I refuse to go. If I spend 3 days like this, I fear I might perish by the second day. Hey, I feel the same way, teacher. The wigged one, with a pitiful expression, rushed to Matsuyama's side. Teacher, I do not want to go. Ugh, enough of that. How disgusting. Gintoki, witnessing the wigged one's adorable antics, nearly spit out his food. Can you please refrain from being so nauseating? It's not a wig, it's Katsura. The wigged one retorted in dissatisfaction. And this is not a pout, it's a plea. Now, let us not bicker. Matsuyama gently patted the heads of the few. Your teacher believes in you. Kenshin is already confirmed to go. Nanny. The three looked at Kenshin in disbelief. And upon seeing him nod, they communicated their feelings of betrayal through their gazes. All right. Gintoki sighed in resignation. But I must make it clear. I will bring 3 volumes of jump and a bag of red bean cakes. Oh, I want a multitude of dumplings. Hey. Why have you all betrayed me like this? We were just deriding that Kenshin character. Why have you all turned traitor now? I am utterly disheartened. I am losing hope in you. Takasuji shouted incredulously. I refuse to go. I want to remain by Matsuyama-sensei's side. Takasuji. Matsuyama regarded him sternly, his eyes reflecting a hint of anger. Do not put your teacher in a difficult position. Very well. Takasuji promptly relented. All right, let us enjoy our meal. The teacher will be here awaiting your return. The 3, lacking enthusiasm, responded with a subdued yes. Undoubtedly, I will ensure their safety. Kenshin gazed at the countdown, which now stood at 2 days. Matsuyama-sensei, you are mistaken. If anyone harms those I wish to protect, I will seek vengeance unto death. A delightful event is falling from the sky like a pie, and a magnificent smartphone awaits your grasp. Follow the official account of Chidian Chinese Network on WeChat by adding Kdred to your friends list and join the excitement instantly. Prizes await everyone. Do not hesitate to follow the Kdred WeChat official account. In the 15th chapter, Kenshin, visibly displeased, shouted, Why did that natural curly-haired fellow wander off with a book? What does this mean? What is happening? At that moment, the 4 of them had been safeguarding the convoy for 3 days, and in just a few hours, the painful countdown would finally conclude. During these trying days, apart from Kenshin, who managed to control his desires with remarkable restraint, the other 3 were barely surviving. Gintoki craved desserts, Takasuji yearned for a teacher, and the wig demanded meatballs, each with their own peculiar requests. As the countdown drew nearer, Kenshin's focus intensified, fearing any unforeseen mishap. At that juncture, Gintoki left a letter stating he could no longer endure this lifestyle and wished to return to his private school. This news not only vexed Takasuji and the wig, but also filled Kenshin with a sense of helplessness. What if something happened to Gintoki and he couldn't reach him in time? If he went after Gintoki, perhaps the wig and Takasuji would. Kenshin, with a look of utter dismay, gazed at the letter. That natural curly-haired fellow. Why must he pose such challenges? No, I must return too. Takasuji exclaimed, displaying his irritation. That curly-haired fool. You will not take away Matsuyama-sensei. So that's what you were concerned about? Kenshin thought, feeling increasingly frustrated. This cannot happen. If we return now, Matsuyama-sensei will surely be furious. The Whig frowned, pondering the consequences. Think about it, Jinshu. If Jintoki returns now, Matsuyama-sensei would. Indeed, you appear to be quite rational. Kenshin silently commended the Whig. Humph, you've made a valid point. Takasuji seemed to have an epiphany. If Jintoki angers the teacher, he will no longer be the center of attention. Thus, he cannot take Matsuyama-sensei away. Well done. I appreciate your insight. It's not the Whig, it's Katsura. I said nothing, and I will trust you, but I must admit my own foolishness. I take back the thumbs up I previously granted you. All right, we are nearing our destination. Let us muster our spirits and strive to return home promptly. Kenshin clapped his hands, capturing the attention of both. Yes, it is decided. As Jintoki ran along the road, he mused. I can only imagine the expressions on Takasuji and the others' faces. Days without jump and desserts are not suited for me. Life without the teacher is equally intolerable. Is that the reason for your antics, Jintoki? The author has resolved to let you stumble. With a sudden misstep, Jintoki exclaimed. Why do I feel as if someone is cursing me? What is this chilling sensation? As he silently complained, Jintoki gradually recognized the familiar paths around him. Just as he was about to rejoice, a dazzling light captivated his attention. What could it be? The pupils contracted sharply, as if unable to fathom the scene unfolding on the horizon, accompanied by the faint echoes of sorrowful cries and the desperate roars of those facing death. There was no mistake. After residing within the lifeless body for so long, Jintoki was convinced he had not misheard. Suddenly, as if struck by a revelation, Jintoki dashed forward recklessly, ignoring the uneven ground beneath him. Once again, a notification chimed. Countdown complete. Please accept the mission within the next 4 hours. Proceed to the private school to rescue teacher Matsuyama. Success rewards. Ultimate technique. Moonless night. Failure penalty. System evolution. The eyes narrowed sharply, and Kenshin collapsed to the ground, consumed by a singular thought. No, this cannot be. Why is this happening? Why? Kenshin murmured to himself, his voice rising in volume. Startling the figure atop the carriage, Takasuji. I had thought it would be Jintoki or Takasuji or even the Whig. Why must it be teacher Matsuyama? The letter from the teacher. Had I not already read it? Did the teacher deceive me? Why would he lie to me? Teacher. Why? Kenshin. Hey, Kenshin. What is wrong with you? Was that Takasuji's voice? I cannot hear. I cannot comprehend what you are saying. My ears and eyes are overwhelmed by shock. My mind can no longer process commands. Kenshin. Takasuji struck Kenshin's face with a powerful fist. What is the matter with you? Takasuji. No. If the system has issued this mission, it means teacher Matsuyama is still savable. There is still a chance. Takasuji. And the Whig. Let us go. Hurry. What? Why, Kenshin? The Whig rushed back, stopping beside Kenshin. Teacher. The teacher is in danger. The gravity of his gaze was unprecedented, a bloodthirsty warrior. A fierce roar unleashed from the depths of fury. We must return quickly. Hey, Kenshin, don't say such things. Takasuji exclaimed, shaking Kenshin in agitation. Don't speak nonsense. The teacher was perfectly fine when we left. Do as you wish. With a rough shove, Kenshin dismissed Takasuji's hand, summoning the long and short Muramasa into his grip, swiftly sheathing it at his waist. Whether you believe it or not, I am going back to save teacher Matsuyama. In a flash, utilizing the swift steps of the flying sword style, Kenshin vanished from everyone's sight. Takasuji. Kenshin doesn't he seem to be lying? The Whig voiced his concern anxiously. I always believed the teacher would be waiting for us to return home. Takasuji paused. But I must expose Kenshin's deception. So we must return together, and once we do, we'll give him a good beating. How tsundere of you. Let us go. Whig. My apologies, boss. We have urgent matters to attend to, so we won't be needing the money. Forgive us. Let us go. Though hastily returning to the village, the turmoil within Jinshin could not quell the questions that plagued his heart. Did we not promise to remain together? Have you forgotten the wish we made on New Year's Eve? Yoshida Soyo, dare you deceive me? I shall rescue you and prepare a delectable feast to make amends. A small mouse. A mocking voice drifted down from the treetops. Little mouse, passage is forbidden here. Narrowing his eyes, he deftly evaded the incoming projectile. Who goes there? A sinister laughter echoed from the surrounding woods. Can you find me? Only by doing so shall you earn the right to register. Humph. I have no time for your games. Jinshin resumed his swift pace, flying heavenly sword style, Earth Dragon Flash. With a swift draw, he plunged his blade into the ground, stirring a whirlwind of earth and stone, merely to obscure the vision of his unseen foe, blending his form amidst the swirling debris. Did I not warn you? A barrage of projectiles descended. Passage is forbidden here. Clang, clang, clang. He deflected all the incoming weapons. No time to deal with you, you scoundrel. The flying heavenly sword style, Dragon-S roar. He swiftly sheathed his sword, unleashing a piercing ultrasonic wave that reverberated in all directions. Leaves rustled without wind, and even the ground trembled. Flying heavenly sword style? Humph. A disciple of Soyo? The hidden figure grunted, evidently surprised that Genshin possessed such formidable skills. You are worth my personal attention. The figure emerged from the shadows, donned in a white conical hat and garments reminiscent of a wandering ascetic, yet more akin to those of an Inyang master, wielding a metal staff. His face bore a chilling expression, and beneath his blue hair lurked a bloodthirsty intent. Chung Beihu, captain of the Tiandao Collective's third squad. Tiandao Collective? Genshin scoffed. So it was you who orchestrated this mischief? Yoshida Soyo, clandestinely training insurgents, attempting to overthrow the nation. His wickedness is beyond reproach. Capture him and imprison him. Huh. Repeat that. Genshin fell silent for a moment before calmly reiterating. Did you not hear clearly? Then I shall. I command you to repeat it, you scoundrel. With a single stroke, he struck downwards, overwhelming Chung Beihu with an unparalleled force that interrupted his words, compelling him to raise his staff in a frantic defense. Oh, are you angered? A disciple of Soyo? A taunting tone reverberated. Huh. I have no time for this. Begone. With a powerful swing, Murakumo cleaved through Chung Beihu, and Genshin strode forward, intent on departing swiftly. Yet, he was met with a flurry of whistling projectiles, prompting him to leap aside. A disciple of Soyo, Chung Beihu maintained his poised stance, ready to unleash more projectiles. You cannot go anywhere. I must go? Genshin slowly turned around. For that man, I can endure all injustices. For that man, I would sacrifice everything. For that cheerful soul, I shall sharpen my blade to a lethal edge. Should anyone dare to harm him, I will stop at nothing to slay those who would threaten him, regardless of who they may be. Not even the King of Heaven shall escape my wrath. Oh dear. Glancing at his watch. Brother, you've just squandered 3 minutes. Thus, I have resolved to no longer resist the most unbearable memories that lie deep within my heart. Raising my gaze, I beheld eyes akin to those of Ashura, blood-red, indifferent, and cruel. Merely a glance seemed to plunge one into an endless sea of corpses and blood. Struggling in vain, I am Rurouni Kenshin. Come forth. I shall slay you. The atmosphere has shifted, transforming from a calm demeanor to one of such sternness. Chung Bei's heart grew heavy. It was as if he had become an entirely different person. The flying heaven sword flow, flying dragon flash. The rapidly launched hilt surged towards Chung Bei, who smiled faintly. Mere parlor tricks. He wielded his staff to deflect it aside, aware that the fundamental flaw in such a sword technique is to strike the blade skyward. Is that so? With lightning speed, Kenshin caught the blade that had veered off to the side and swiftly closed the distance. Flying heaven sword flow, dragon's nest flash. An unparalleled velocity that relentlessly cleaves all before it, akin to the phantom dance of DNF. With frenzied slashes, Chung Bei realized in an instant that there was no chance of escape from this furious onslaught. Thus, he exerted his utmost to wield the staff, attempting to withstand Kenshin's wild strikes. Even with all his strength, injuries were inevitable. Aware that he was struggling to keep pace with Kenshin's ever-quickening slashes, Chung Bei retreated, not waiting for the dragon's nest flash to reach him, but leaping into the air, beyond Kenshin's reach. This is your weakness. The end from Master Sōjirō's disciple. You dare to be so certain. Kenshin grinned. Flying heaven sword flow, 10 dragons flash. Once again, a self-created technique emerged. Kenshin did not halt the dragon's nest flash. Instead, he accelerated his strikes, and from the heart of the dragon's nest flash, a transparent sword aura appeared, extending in all directions and forming a cross, amplifying the attack range of the dragon's nest flash several-fold. What? Chung Bei was taken aback. There exists such a method. Though astonished, he knew that distraction could cost him his life. Chung Bei focused his energy, holding countless concealed projectiles in both hands. Prepare to receive. Chung Bei launched the projectiles into the center of that cross. Though they were shredded in that instant, he did not relent. continuing to unleash his projectiles towards the focal point. While I am curious about where you conceal so many projectiles, I believe you are not as significant as Master Sōjiro. Kenshin struck with full force. Would you kindly hasten your demise? Such bold words from a mere child. Chungbei, pushed to such extremes by a youth, was clearly enraged. As he lingered in midair, his countless projectiles began to take effect, completely disrupting the sword force of the dragon's nest flash. Though it was a chaotic flurry, the dragon's nest flash maintained its own trajectory. This disturbance allowed Chungbei to identify a critical opening, the small abdomen that Kenshin's right hand could not guard. It is over. Master Sōjiro's disciple. With a mighty shout, Chungbei grasped his staff, and the wooden sheath slid off to reveal a sharp blade, thrusting directly towards Kenshin. Is it truly over? Kenshin murmured, then raised his head with a sly smile. Indeed, it is over. Unbeknownst to him, a foreboding sensation surged within Chungbei as his heart raced. Yet, with the arrow already on the string, there was no turning back. Die! He roared, hastening his descent through a unique method, determined to grant Jinshin no opportunity. Flying sword technique, dragon soaring flash. The detached words presaged the impending outcome. Chapter 16, The Shattered Oath. Flying sword technique, dragon soaring flash. Abruptly halting his rapid flurry of strikes, Jinshin steadied his footwork, pushing the sword upward with his other hand and leaping high into the air, aiming for Chungbei's throat. It won't be that easy. Chungbei swiftly crossed his staff, attempting to block Jinshin's strike. Yet, as the words left his lips, he was unprepared for the extraordinary strength behind Jinshin's attack. The blade cleaved through the staff, granting Chungbei a moment to evade the fatal blow to his throat, but leaving a straight gash across his chest. The force propelled him upward, following the arc of Jinshin's blade. Flying sword technique, dragon hammer soaring flash. In the air, Jinshin executed a somersault, leaving another horizontal cut across Chungbei's chest before delivering a powerful downward slash that sent Chungbei crashing to the ground, raising a storm of dust that obscured the scene. Upon landing, Jinshin paid no heed to the effects of his recent flurry of attacks, nor did he ponder whether Chungbei lay dead. Instead, he gripped his sword tightly and dashed toward the direction of the private school. Block him! From within the swirling dust, a hoarse voice called out, followed by a multitude of figures, identical in appearance to Chungbei, emerging to unleash a torrent of hidden weapons upon Jinshin. Damn it! Jinshin pivoted, deflecting the barrage of projectiles while continuing his retreat toward the private school. Chungbei emerged slowly from the cloud of dust, revealing 3 ghastly wounds on his chest, blood gushing intermittently from the injuries, presenting a pitiful sight. I never expected that Sōjiro could produce such a character. However, this only serves to ensure that Sōjiro cannot escape. Who cares? Jinshin continued to slay the relentless adversaries, evading numerous weapons. Yet, even as a formidable fighter, he was still merely a 13-year-old boy, and without the power of a divine being, wounds began to mar his body. With a fierce swing, Jinshin cleaved through an opponent's chest, simultaneously receiving a blow to his back. In a state of urgent desperation, Jinshin did not allow his enemies a moment to react. He employed his swift footwork to dart through their ranks, leaving a trail of blood and lifeless bodies in his wake. Flying sword technique, tornado flash. A segment of the tornado flash dispatched a member of the Heavenly Path sect. As the enemy's corpse fell, Jinshin's pupils constricted, for he saw Chungbei, staff in hand, rapidly thrusting toward him. After an extended battle, Jinshin's stamina had waned, and he could not react in time to execute the second phase of the tornado flash. Chungbei's staff, with its razor edge, penetrated Jinshin's right chest with brutal force. Thud! With a violent cough of blood, Jinshin suffered a grievous injury. Before Chungbei could react, Jinshin seized his staff and swung his blade towards him, but Chungbei would not grant Jinshin the opportunity, delivering a powerful kick that sent him sprawling. You have reached your limit. Behind him stood a multitude of celestial beings, and Chungbei gazed at Jinshin, who knelt on the ground with his sword drawn, his tone laced with admiration. Limit? You believe I have reached my limit? Jinshin sheathed his sword, retorting, First, receive this strike before uttering such words. Once more, he assumed the stance of the flying sword technique, yet this time, he did not immediately draw his sword to strike. Instead, he gathered his strength. Chungbei felt a sudden, fierce palpitation, as though an unseen hand had gripped his throat, rendering him breathless. A long-buried fear resurfaced within him, an inner voice urging him to flee. Run. As far as you can. Quickly kill him. At that moment, Chungbei heeded this voice, as countless subordinates surged towards Jinshin, while he himself discreetly retreated a few paces. Hundreds of concealed weapons and 78 staffs converged on a single target to eliminate Jinshin. Flying sword technique. In an instant, Jinshin vanished, only to reappear at a distance, standing resolutely before Chungbei. In disbelief, Chungbei's eyes widened, his lips trembling. Why you? Nine-headed dragon flash. The voice that emerged was indifferent, a whisper of death, yet also the clarion call of victory. Shadows fell one after another, their eyes devoid of fear, filled instead with boundless confusion. Why? I was so close to killing that brat. Why do I feel so weary? Ha ha ha. Chungbei laughed hoarsely, a maniacal mirth that culminated in a violent spurt of blood spilling onto Jinshin's crimson attire. I have already told you, I lack the time to indulge you. Drawing his blade, Jinshin regarded the fallen Chungbei, lifting his Murakumo sword. Was it merely an illusion, or did he sense a tremor of excitement from the blade? What a terrifying individual. Chungbei observed Jinshin's retreating form, those eyes of Azura, and the ominous sword in hand. Someday, you shall bury your own protector. You will live in solitude in this world, tormented by despair. I shall watch you suffer in hell, disciple of Sonyang. Damn it, is the injury too severe? Clutching his wounded chest, blood continued to flow unabated, forcing Jinshin to halt. He tore a strip of cloth to bind his wound. Sonyang, wait for me. He could already see the village, but to his dismay, it appeared to be ablaze. Oh, Sonyang. In the distance, he seemed to catch a glimpse of the gentlest figure from his memories. In the warmest place now engulfed in flames, all tender recollections shattered into pieces. Bound and restrained was Sonyang, and there knelt a tearful Inshur, along with countless other figures. Release him. A roar echoed, causing Inshur to tremble slightly. Is that Jinshin? Flying sword technique, tornado flash. As he sprinted midway, he spun around and drew his sword, charging toward the two individuals who had bound Master Sonyang. Clang. A figure clad in blue intercepted the swirling strike of Jinshin's blade. Is he also a disciple of Sonyang? The figure murmured softly. It seems Chungbei and the others must have perished by now, aware of his numerous injuries, which would be detrimental for a prolonged battle. Jinshin stepped back gracefully before launching another downward strike. You little brat, while you may have dispatched that Chungbei fellow, do not conflate me with him. The figure swiftly extended his left hand, seizing Jinshin by the throat and lifting him effortlessly. However, grant yourself time to grow stronger, and you might become a significant threat. The figure tilted his head. Then, let it be your end here. His fingers tightened, and wounded severely, Jinshin could not shake off the grip, left at the mercy of the figure's whims. Stop. Sonyang. Jinshin. Silver time. You promised me. You would not harm my disciples. Sonyang stepped forward. What? Are you planning to break your promise now? You are already at my mercy. He continued to exert pressure. If I am displeased, perhaps that little brat over there will not escape either. If you do this, you shall never discover the location of that place. Sonyang's tone deepened. Isn't that what you desire? Very well. You have won, Yoshida Sonyang. Relinquishing his grip, Jinshin began to descend. Swoosh. The figure swiftly drew his blade, slicing a long gash across Jinshin's chest, from his left shoulder to his right abdomen. Blood instantly spilled onto the ground. Hung. Sonyang bellowed, attempting to rush forward, but was firmly restrained on either side. You are untrustworthy. I merely stated I would spare him. The figure rested the blade on his shoulder. This strike is merely my vengeance for Chungbei. If he receives treatment, your precious disciple shall not perish. Sonyang fell silent, glancing at Jinshin, who lay on the ground, and then at the dazed Silver Time. Very well. You must promise me. You shall never harm my disciples. How bothersome. The figure exclaimed impatiently. Let us hasten. Wait. A hoarse voice emerged, as Jinshin lay quietly on the ground, his left cheek pressed against the earth, surrounded by a pool of blood, presenting a mournful sight. What is your name, blue-clad individual? The figure paused, then regarded Jinshin with curiosity. What is it? I am Rurouni Kenshin. Jinshin remained still, maintaining his posture. Tell me your name, and I shall ensure your demise. Was he betting on the figure's reluctance to strike him down? The figure hesitated, a chill coursing through him, spreading from his spine to his brain, causing him to shudder, as though having realized something. He burst into laughter. You? Kill me? With your current state? How absurd. Ha ha. Listen well, I am Lianqing. Should you wish for vengeance, The heavenly path awaits your arrival. Murmuring, I understand, Jinshin reflected on Master Songyang's teachings before falling silent. Let us go, Yoshida Songyang. Wait. Songyang halted in his tracks, turning back to quietly gaze at Jin, who immediately revealed that heartwarming smile once more. Everyone is counting on you, Jin. The anguished cries echoed through the night. I'm so sorry, Teacher Songyang. Kenshin's tears flowed, tears of regret, mourning his own weakness, lamenting his inability to protect Teacher Songyang, despising himself for not safeguarding what mattered most. Was it the intention of the system to assign me a task I could never fulfill? System, Chapter 17, The Way of Heaven. Expulsion of foreigners. The beginning of legend. Before them stood a dilapidated temple, merely steps away from the village, curiously untouched by the raging flames. Within, the deity it once housed was now obscured from view. In this temple, Jin and the weary Kenshin lay in silence, neither daring to speak first. Jin? A hoarse voice broke the stillness, startling Kenshin with its own sound. Water. Kenshin awoke. That voice, was it from the wig? Indeed, they had returned. Kenshin. How are you? Suddenly, a loud noise rang out, casting a shadow in front of him. Kenshin? Ah, it's Jin. Receiving the water from the wig, he inquired, Where's Takasuji? The two remained silent, igniting Kenshin's agitation. I demand to know. Where is Takasuji? From outside, the wig's muffled voice replied, Last night, I saw that side of Takasuji. Huh. Given his temperament, I wouldn't be surprised by anything he does. Kenshin lay back down once again. Bring him in. That's not possible. The wig glanced at Jin. Last night, Jin and Takasuji had a fight. Kenshin looked at Jin, puzzled, but read everything in Jin's crimson eyes. I understand now. Turning away, Jin spoke quietly. Am I truly so useless? I couldn't protect Teacher Songyang. Kenshin sat up again. Jin, turn around. There was no response. Jin continued to lament. I failed to protect the teacher. I failed to protect the teacher. Shut up. Kenshin shouted in frustration. Listen, Jin, where's your confidence? The confidence akin to a jump protagonist. Where has it fled? Is it your fault that you couldn't save the teacher? Don't bear all the blame alone, you fool. Because I rushed here, the failure to save the teacher rests entirely on my shoulders. Kenshin's tone shifted to one of determination, disregarding the wig's objections. Who do you think you are? Don't forget, I am the protagonist of this story. Jin remained silent, turning to face Kenshin, lost in contemplation. Wig, help me up. Kenshin struggled to rise. Take me to Takasuji. No, Kenshin. The wig urged desperately. Your body can't withstand such exertion. It's fine. Kenshin gasped, giving the wig a thumbs up. Take me there. I won't get agitated. All right. The wig conceded, sensing the profound impact of the teacher's departure on Kenshin. Even his usual quirk had vanished. Inshur was thrust into the doorway by the wig, and with a resolute stride, he declared that he no longer needed to suppress himself. He departed without hesitation, leaving Inshur alone in the room. Teacher Songyang. Inshur could no longer contain himself. Tears streamed down his face as he pounded the ground in a fit of remorse for his own impotence and a lament for the cruel fate that had befallen him. Let us go, wig. A faint sound of weeping could be heard as Jinshin continued his march, awakening the dazed wig with a remark. Stop crying. Let us go. In Un's eyes, tears swirled but did not fall. Upon hearing Jinshin's urging, the wig stepped forward with determination. Why? With a frenzied swing of his sword, he cried out. Teacher Songyang. Why? Why has this happened? This was both a question of self-doubt and a challenge to the heavens. He had merely stepped out for a moment, and the teacher had assured him he would wait for his return as always. Why? Why is it that upon my return, the teacher is nowhere to be found? With a leap, he severed a frail sapling with his blade, shouting, Inshur is worthless, Jinshin is worthless, the wig is worthless, and I am worthless too. None of us could protect him. Do you not understand? He lamented. Indeed, we are all aware of your suffering, Gaosan, but you should not bear this alone. From afar, he could hear Gaosan's furious outcry and questions. Jinshin silently reflected, and then he no longer allowed the wig to assist him. That's enough, wig. Release your grip. Just stay here and watch. By the way, hand me your sword. What do you intend to do? The wig retreated nervously. Give me the sword. He snatched the blade from the wig's side. Hey, Gaosan, I'm coming. Is that voice Jinshin? Gaosan halted his attack, gazing at Jinshin, who approached with a smile. Yet an uncontrollable rage brewed within him. Why is this person smiling so brightly when our teacher is no longer here? Jinshin, Gaosan, Losing his composure, slashed towards Jinshin. Jinshin blocked the strike, but the force of the blow compelled him to take several steps back to dissipate the impact. What's wrong? I could hear your wails from afar. He quipped lightly. What's the matter? Can't you accept it? Why? Gaosen pressed his blade against Jinshin with all his might. The teacher is gone, isn't he? Why can you still smile so happily? Tell me, Jinshin. Overwhelmed by fury, Gaosen forced Jinshin back with a strike. Why can you smile so joyously? What? Should I not smile? Do you expect me to wallow in despair like you, lamenting about fate? Jinshin retorted with a cold smirk. I want to engage in such childish behavior. That's just it. Gaosen charged again, swinging his sword down. That smile of yours is infuriating. Infuriating, is it? Jinshin once more blocked the strike, yet the wound on his chest could withstand no more and began to bleed profusely. TCH, whose bandaging technique is this? It's utterly dreadful. I once thought with each successive strike and every word, he continued, I thought you would understand my feelings. That the one who knew me best would be you. But you turned out just like that curly-haired one. Takasuji roared with fury. How can you be so indifferent to our teacher's life or death? Who says I don't care? You fool. Though he had managed to block the strike, his injured hand failed to grasp the hilt of the sword, causing it to slip from his grip. Thus, in his loss of composure, Takasuji struck mercilessly. You are the most detestable of all. Kenshin, without uttering a word, simply raised his right hand and seized the blade descending towards him. You arrogant fool. Is this how you see things? Immediately, his left hand struck hard against Takasuji's face, sending him flying backward. Listen well, Takasuji. The cold voice, unperturbed by the impending reprimands, continued. What do you think we are? Must pain always be displayed upon one's face? Do not present to me that expression as if Matsuyama-sensei is already dead. I tell you, Matsuyama-sensei has merely been captured. And what now? Are you going to weep and wail here? Instead of lamenting, you should be devising a plan to rescue Matsuyama-sensei. Kenshin cast aside the wig and lifted the still-lying Takasuji. Hear me. Jintoki is over there, grieving. His sorrow is profound, heart-wrenching. Were you not thinking last night that Jintoki was heartless? Let me clarify. That man, who struggles to express his emotions, would never cry in front of so many, not even for his own brother. Do you understand? The atmosphere grew heavy, steeped in silence. Hey, when did I cry? Don't spout nonsense. The three paused, only to see Jintoki approaching, casually digging in his nose. Careful, Jintoki, I might just hit you. Oh, Jintoki, you've arrived? Maintaining his grip on Takasuji, Kenshin offered a slight smile. What's wrong? Have you decided to cry? Absolutely. Jintoki's resolute voice rang out. If our teacher is currently in the hell known as Tendo, I will surely turn it upside down. Let go. Kenshin was taken aback, noticing Takasuji's lowered gaze. How long do you intend to hold on? My apologies. Kenshin scratched his head, sheepishly releasing Takasuji. Takasuji lifted his head with a haughty demeanor, as if something unpredictable had occurred. Tendo? Is that the organization that has captured our teacher? To be precise, it is the Tendo clan. Jintoki interjected. I have heard of this organization. The wig-wearing individual stepped forward. They operate under the shogunate, ostensibly to protect it, yet their reach is extensive. However, their most significant endeavor has been the assassination of the anti-foreign leaders. They have accomplished this countless times, and now, during the anti-foreign war's retreat, the Tendo clan has played no small part in it. Yet, what they truly seek remains a mystery. Regardless, the Tendo clan is, in my eyes, no different from non-existence. Kenshin's frigid words pierced through. For wrongdoings, one must be prepared to face the consequences. What should we do? Asked Jintoki. We need manpower. Thus we shall participate in the war. Takasuji's smile was cruel. The anti-foreign war is indeed the best course of action. Indeed, I concur. Since the Tendo clan is engaged in assassinating anti-foreign leaders, let us become the leaders of the anti-foreign movement ourselves. It is far better than searching aimlessly. Kenshin was the first to endorse the idea. Certainly, I have no objections. Wig. Huh. Such words. If news arrives, it will undoubtedly lead to a great upheaval. X4 no one could have anticipated that the legend of these four individuals would be forged anew. Whether they be celestial beings arriving on Earth or those far away in the cosmos, they shall comprehend the might of these four. The forthcoming era will be marked by the invincible legend of these four individuals. Chapter 18. Do not underestimate a 13-year-old boy. Wig, have you truly gone astray? Although they have resolved to become loyalists, These four are merely 13 years of age. Despite their strength, to the eyes of adults, they are but mere children. Can one truly expect them to rally support? Similarly, it seems that Wig was born to be a loyalist, eagerly taking the lead in guiding Kenshin and the others toward the distant horizon to join the loyalists. Well, while Wig's ambitions are commendable, aspirations remain but aspirations. In reality, the four find themselves meandering through this forest. It's not Wig, it's Katsura, Wig muttered in response, parting the branches before him. I mentioned that not far from the village, during our last delivery, I had a casual exchange with those fellows. They informed me that they were delivering goods to the loyalists' convoy. So if we proceed toward the city, we are bound to encounter the loyalists. Ah, Wig, you must be certain, Kenshin exclaimed, his exhaustion palpable. At this moment, he unsheathed Murasame, the two blades at his waist radiating an aura of exceptional quality, eliciting envy from Katsura. What do you think the loyalists are like? Gintoki, clutching teacher Matsuyama's sword, remarked. I have only seen them on a battlefield strewn with corpses. At that time, they were merely the deceased. TCH, who cares? I just want to eliminate the celestial beings. Since Matsuyama was taken, Katsura seems transformed, cold, stern, and relentlessly honing his skills. Wait. Gintoki halted, sniffing the air. Do not proceed. There's a scent of blood. His words immediately instilled tension among the group, for they did not doubt Gintoki. Having lived amidst corpses for so long, his familiarity with the stench of death far surpassed that of Kenshin and the others. There's something amiss. Gintoki listened intently, then declared, There's a fierce gunfight occurring, and it's quite extensive. Shall we go investigate? Of course. It could very well be the loyalists engaged in battle. Wig leaped onto a tree. I see it, just below that hillside. Is this the opportunity to become a loyalist? Gintoki mused. Let us go. Katsura sprinted ahead, leading Kenshin and Gintoki, propelling them into a world starkly different from before, one rife with bloodshed and cruelty. Hey, you three. Gintoki, running in third place, slightly lagging behind Katsura and Kenshin, called out, Do not perish. Although he knew that Kenshin and the others were unlikely to meet their demise here. Having recently endured the Matsuyama incident, Gintoki clearly felt uneasy. Hey. Although I am injured, do not underestimate me, Gintoki. Kenshin, now in second place, retorted. Upon hearing Jin's words, I turned back and smiled at him. Enough of your rambling. Take care of yourself. The battle raged on, and I could not fathom why the Amanto would be here. Their physical prowess and technology far surpassed that of the Juishishi, leaving them with no chance of victory except to stake their lives in vain. This skirmish was clearly an ambush, with the Juishishi being driven back relentlessly, the ground littered with the corpses of fallen comrades. Lord, we must retreat. A blood-soaked soldier rushed towards me, shouting, We will hold them off. You must escape. Anger surged within me. Damn it. I will never abandon my post. My lord, take the intel back. The soldier plunged his blade into the belly of a dog-headed Amanto, but was seized by several others. Do not let our sacrifice be in vain, he cried. But before he could finish, they tore him apart, his remains scattering like confetti. Mahoto, I shouted in despair, yet as I contemplated the intelligence I possessed, I had to suppress my thirst for vengeance. Take care of yourselves. Do you really think you can escape? A cunning cat-headed Amanto, aware of the stakes, rallied several powerful comrades and charged towards me, intent on my demise. Panic surged, and I fled as the Amanto pursued, the chaos escalating around us. Was I destined to perish here? I thought, engulfed in despair. Look over there, what is that? A sudden shout jolted me from my morbid thoughts. In the distance, four figures emerged from the mountains, landing at the heart of the battlefield, and they appeared to be children. What on earth are children doing here? I thought, momentarily forgetting my plight. Run! Hurry! I yelled in terror. Hey! Old man, one of the silver-haired boys, nonchalantly picking his nose, called out, Stay quiet over there. Leave the rest to us. I was taken aback, still processing his words when I saw the Amanto, bloodthirsty, charging towards the four children, and I felt a surge of dread. Humph. The red-haired boy scoffed coldly, flying sword technique, earth dragon flash. He slashed his blade across the ground, raising a storm of dust that obscured everyone's vision. Stop boasting. The silver-haired boy leapt high into the air. We are not your ordinary children. With a single downward strike, he cleaved a dog-headed Amanto in two, blood staining his white attire, resembling a demon from the depths of hell. Amanto? A violet-haired boy appeared abruptly before the stunned Amanto. declaring die. With a horizontal slash, he severed the remaining manto in half. Humph! The long-haired boy coldly snorted, his delicate features radiating a murderous aura. He dashed forward, pressing his blade against one manto, and with a fierce roar, he carved a bloody path through them. Yet, the true spectacle was yet to unfold. Flying sword technique, tornado flash. A crimson specter of Ashura flashed by, and before the three heavenly beings could evade, they were struck by a whirlwind. Instantly ensnared in the explosive aura of the blade, which severed them into dozens of pieces, cascading down like rain. Sakata Jintoki. Jintoki coldly remarked, "Remember this, heavenly beings." He then fiercely plunged into their midst, unleashing a torrential downpour of blood. Takasugi Shinsuke. Katsura Kotaru. Himura Kenshin. Hirabayashi gazed in disbelief at the scene where merely 4 individuals had decisively altered the tide of battle. Were the heavenly beings truly this feeble? What, then, were they, who were even weaker than the heavenly beings? Were these 4 entities risen from the depths of hell? With a swift stroke, Jintoki severed a heavenly being's head and observed the dazed Hirabayashi, silently cursing him for being a hindrance. He charged toward Hirabayashi's location, uncertain of why those heavenly beings sought his demise, yet recognizing him as a commander among the loyalists, he could not permit his death. "Hey, little kitty." Jintoki taunted the cat-headed heavenly being leading the assault on Hirabayashi from a distance. "I've got some cat food here. Let me treat you. Don't run away." Amidst a flurry of strikes, the surrounding heavenly beings fell in terror, while the cat-headed one remained in a state of panic. "Hey, Jintoki, watch out!" Takasugi shouted from afar. Jintoki did not turn back, but felt a gust of wind brush against the back of his head, grinning widely. "Do you really want to die like this?" Takasugi roared, shattering the mace aimed at Jintoki, his head still facing forward. "Because I believe in you." With a single stroke, he decapitated the cat-headed heavenly being. "I believe you can guard my back." Heavenly sword style, dragon tooth flash. The heavenly being was sent soaring into the air before crashing down violently to the ground. Kenshin dashed forward unceasingly, like an arrow piercing through the battlefield, slaying every heavenly being that obstructed his path. "Even if I'm injured, don't underestimate me." "Huh, Kenshin, you can't do it." Jintoki laughed heartily, wiping the blood from his face. "Takasugi, come, let us compare who has slain more." "Humph, Jintoki." With a foot planted on a heavenly being's head, Takasugi leapt to Jintoki's side. "I've already killed over 30. Then I can't let you take the lead." Jintoki excitedly charged into the fray. "TCH." Takasugi spat disdainfully. Heavenly sword style, dragon nest flash. Kenshin bellowed, "Who says I can't do it? A man must never admit defeat." "Well, it's still just noon. There's plenty of time left." Part 19. The Long Journey, entering Luga's town. "Who are you?" Hirabayashi inquired, as they swept away the remaining heavenly beings with an overwhelming force. He, accompanied by the few remaining loyalists, slowly made their way back to their base, flanked by the recently formidable quartet. Hey, old man, you're so annoying," Jintoki complained, scratching his ear. "Didn't I tell you we fled from that direction?" "Who would believe that?" Hirabayashi bellowed. "Who else could have driven away such powerful beings like you?" "Humph, how do you know they didn't?" Takasugi scoffed, holding his sword and remaining silent. The Whig cast a helpless glance at Takasugi and said, "I apologize. My friend has not been in the best of spirits lately. However, we genuinely fled from that place, where the village has been utterly consumed by flames." At this point, the 4 individuals appeared noticeably somber. "Thus, we have resolved to become loyal warriors of the Restoration. We humbly ask for your refuge." Hirayama remained silent, although he still harbored doubts about these 4. He had witnessed their formidable combat prowess during the recent battle. If they were indeed to align themselves with the Loyalists, it would undoubtedly bolster their strength significantly. "This matter is beyond my authority," Hirayama pondered aloud. "Perhaps you should accompany me to our base in Hukai to meet our leader, Lord Jihua, and let him make the decision." "Certainly, we shall accompany you." The Whig responded eagerly, thinking this arrangement was favorable, as he could hardly imagine dealing with the temperamental trio alone. "I apologize for the inconvenience. This is a grave matter," Hirayama added, slightly bowing his head. "Careful not to pressure the 4 too much." "Well then, what shall we do next?" Kenshin interjected, finally joining the conversation now that the Whig had reached an agreement. "There remains a considerable distance to Hukai, and our next destination is Laguzan, which was once a bustling town." Unfortunately, Hirayama's tone grew melancholic since the outbreak of war. Kenshin understood the implication of the devastation. Our next stop is there. We must proceed without delay, for we have just extinguished that squad of celestial beings, and a fleet will soon be on its way. A fleet? The four were taken aback, suddenly recalling that their adversaries were celestial beings, equipped with advanced technology, while they possessed nothing but their swords. Indeed, a formidable fleet. We loyalists have been retreating steadily, thanks to the fleet's might. Hirayama scoffed, his tone filled with resentment. Thus, in such an open area, if we are discovered by the fleet, escape will be utterly impossible. Understood. Then let us depart. Kenshin rose, silently swallowing 2 hemostatic pills and binding a tourniquet around his wound. Once prepared, he stood up and declared, Jintoki, Takasugi, Wig, we shall proceed. Wait. Hirayama called to Kenshin. Earlier on the battlefield, you mentioned your name was Himura Kenshin. What of it? What is it? Kenshin was puzzled, unable to discern the significance of his name. Oh, I hope you can truly embody the spirit of that Kenshin and usher in an era of renewed peace. Hirayama seemed to be speaking to himself, murmuring softly. Kenshin's body stiffened as he grasped the meaning behind the words. Without further regard for Hirayama, he waved his hand and jogged over to Jintoki and the others. Cough, cough. Are you certain this is the town? Kenshin remarked with a grimace, surveying the charred ruins, amidst which lay remnants of hastily constructed wooden shelters scattered about, resembling a refugee camp. What? Do you doubt it? Hirayama shot Kenshin a sidelong glance. This is the harsh reality of war. It seems you are far less experienced in this regard than your 3 companions. Kenshin remained silent, unsure of how to respond. One cannot claim to have traversed time, living in an era of peace, having never truly witnessed the visage of war, only having encountered it through the lens of television and the pages of books. In contrast to my own experience, it is essential to acknowledge that Jintoki and his companions have been embroiled in bloodshed since their youth. Everyone, let us rest here. Hayabusa clapped his hands to capture the attention of the group. Upon hearing his words, the remaining 14 loyalists erupted in cheers and settled onto the ground. You must be hungry. Hayabusa seated himself beside his subordinates. There is but 1 biscuit left. My sincerest apologies. Supplies have been rather scarce lately, so let us divide it among ourselves. No need for that. Lord Hayabusa, please, you eat it. They insisted. We can manage just fine. Dear Hayabusa, you are our leader. You must eat well. Huh. We are brothers after all. Enough of this foolishness. Let us share the meal. Go fetch some water from over there. All right. Hey, Kenshin, Jintoki, Takasugi, Katsura. Hayabusa noticed the 4 individuals seated at a distance, silent and seemingly peculiar, and called them over. Kenshin and the others exchanged glances and strode towards him. Hey. The atmosphere here is quite pleasant, Jintoki remarked as he sat down, his blood-stained white attire clinging to him, yet the individual beside him remained silent. I am unashamedly joining you for a meal. However, this also unveiled many shortcomings. The wig he donned always presented a facade of reliability in the face of battle. Those unaware of his true nature could easily be deceived by him. Takasugi remained as aloof as ever, uttering not a word, merely staring blankly at the fiercely blazing fire. His mind seemingly tumultuous. Here, Uncle Hayabusa. Kenshin pretended to pull something from his bosom, but actually retrieved several pieces of beef from his bag and handed them to Hayabusa. Wow, beef! A chorus of astonishment erupted around, quickly followed by the unmistakable sound of salivating. Impressive, Kenshin. You managed to keep such rations. Hayabusa appeared quite pleased. Come, the water has arrived. Let us all partake. Jintoki. Kenshin pulled out a small red bean cake, no larger than a pebble, from behind him. Apologies, this is the last of my supplies. The rest were burnt. Jintoki paused for a moment, then smiled nonchalantly. Why didn't you bring this out sooner? Do you not know that I cannot survive a day without sweets? Ah, I am revived. By the way, Kenshin, one of the loyalists addressed him. On the battlefield, that truly was the flying heaven sword style. Indeed. Kenshin nodded, taking a bite of the beef. The flying heaven sword style is something I learned from a manga. Of course, this statement was a lie. How remarkable. The flying heaven sword style truly exists. The crowd gasped in awe. Well, it's merely swordsmanship. Kenshin chuckled, then fell silent. The atmosphere lingered in a serene silence for a while. Each individual bore untold stories of their past. War is tragic, and the plight of the weak triumphing over the strong is the most sorrowful of all. Ah, I am so full. Jintoki exaggeratedly stretched his limbs. disrupting the silence that enveloped them. Today, I am quite jubilant and shall regale you with tales of my heroic exploits. What heroics do you possess? Takasuji scoffed. Being schooled by Kenshin? Or perhaps by me? Hey, shorty. Gintoki's forehead twitched with an irritable vein. I distinctly recall who received a thorough lesson during swordsmanship class. Who was it? Who indeed? Humph. Takasuji, aware of his own shortcomings, tilted his head, ignoring Gintoki. Hey. Who was it? My memory isn't the best. Who was it? Gintoki feigned ignorance, teasing Takasuji in circles. Oi, Gintoki. Katsura suddenly seized Gintoki by the collar. At this rate, Shinsuke will transform into a Super Saiyan. Am I concerned? Do you believe that I, Gintoki, could gather 7 Dragon Balls and wish for Shorty to become Shorty Girl? Ha. The plains and numerous loyalists chuckled knowingly. Ah, these rascals. Kenshin smiled wryly, exasperated by Gintoki's antics. Yet it was precisely this facet of Gintoki that brought warmth to those around him. Perhaps this was Gintoki's unique charm, effortlessly infecting those nearby with joy. Suddenly, an ominous warning surged forth. Kenshin misstepped, swiftly retreating, but barely had he moved when an explosion erupted where he had just stood, the shockwave violently propelling several nearby individuals away. Boom! Another explosion resounded, and a massive boulder hurtled toward Gintoki and the others. With a shared glance of understanding, Gintoki and Takasuji simultaneously sliced the stone asunder, and then Gintoki, wielding his sword with fervor, shattered the remaining sizable fragments. Samurai, there is nowhere left for you to flee. A deep voice echoed from above, capturing everyone's attention. The celestial fleet. Gintoki gasped in disbelief. How could this be? We had retreated so swiftly. Samurai. We have been tracking your signals all along, declared a confidently adorned celestial from the heart of the fleet. Fire. Eliminate this band of samurai. Boom, boom, boom. An endless barrage of cannon fire descended like hail at his command, and the beleaguered loyalists, alongside Kenshin and his companions, could do naught but flee into the distance. Explosions erupted sporadically around them, unleashing waves of scorching heat. Flee! Can you escape? Another command rang out, as machine guns targeted the samurai below, unleashing a torrential downpour of bullets that enveloped Kenshin and his comrades. Faced with such an onslaught, Kenshin and his companions found themselves unable to retaliate, forced to flee in a disheveled manner, akin to hunted animals. Not everyone was so fortunate. The remaining loyalists fell one by one. Their comrades who had just shared meals and boastful tales now lay helplessly on the ground, while they could do nothing but watch in despair. Damn it! Gintoki roared in frustration, veering away from the group, racing toward another direction. Gintoki! The 3 of them shouted in concern, but their voices were drowned out by the furious hail of bullets. Chapter 20. Counterattack. Crescent Moon Slash. What shall we do? That fellow Jin-san actually left the group on his own. At this moment, having escaped from the town of Rugu, Kenshin and his companions ventured into the dense forest. Although the fleet above continued its bombardment, the thick trees obscured their view, providing the group with a temporary sense of safety. Thus, they crouched in a hollow. And in concern for Jin-san's departure, a member of the group spoke up. I don't know, Kenshin replied, glancing at the fading light filtering through the treetops. You all stay here. I'll go take a look. No, it's too dangerous. Hayu shouted. What if you don't come back either? Don't worry. I will be fine. Kenshin reassured them symbolically before turning to Takasuji with a serious expression. Takasuji, I leave it to you. Understood. Though it was but a single word, it conveyed more than 1,000 sentiments. With a sudden leap, Kenshin vacated the hollow, and in an instant, his figure vanished as he employed his swift footwork. Damn it! Those detestable samurai! A frustrated Tenjin roared. How dare they run to a place like this? Wouldn't it be better to stand still and let me turn them to mush? My lord, what shall we do now? A duck-like Tenjin stepped forward to report. Should we set fire to this forest? No, we've been instructed not to excessively damage the environment of this planet. The Tenjin sneered. Fire the bullets, bombard them. Even if we can't burn it down, we must utterly annihilate them with gunfire. Understood. The duck-like Tenjin accepted the command and hastily made his way down, seemingly intent on opening fire. Samurai, you cannot be allowed to carry that message back. The Tenjin sneered, a mysterious symbol subtly emerging beneath the folds of his ample clothing. Boom, boom. There was no respite to be had. Jin-san grinned widely as he dashed forward, countless explosions surrounding him, threatening his life at every moment. Yet, he remained undeterred, still searching for a crucial spot, a place where he could deliver a decisive blow. This was what set Jin-san apart from others. He never considered retreating, never doubting his chance for victory. It was merely a matter of finding the right opportunity. It must exist. There, I see it. A voice called out excitedly from the sky. Jin-san smirked. Have I been spotted? Hey, what on earth are you doing? A voice of exasperation suddenly emerged beside him, causing Jin-san to turn around in surprise. What? It's you, Kenshin. I sent it to find you, you idiot. Kenshin shouted angrily. Tell me, why are you running around aimlessly? TCH, I merely intend to take them down. Jin-san leaped over a fallen tree. We can't keep running like this. We must find a way to completely destroy them. Hey, are you out of your mind? Kenshin yelled. There's a gap of several thousand meters between us, you fool. Do you plan to eat rubber and pull them down? There's always an opportunity. Jin-san replied with a calm smile. And I've already spotted it. Kenshin paused, following Jin-san's gaze, only to discover a cliff that rose towards the sky. This meant that from this cliff, they would be able to approach the fleet most effectively. Do not even think about jumping. Kenshin shouted incredulously. Hey, give me a moment. Do not assume that I cannot bring that thing down. Remain right here. It is absolutely forbidden for you to leap. Too late for that, my friend. Gintoki exclaimed as he leaped into the air. The fleet in the sky seemed to have noticed Gintoki's intentions, with all their bullets directed towards him. How absurd. Kenshin's pupils constricted as he roared uncontrollably. Do not forget. Master Matsuyama entrusted you to my care. Simultaneously, Kenshin secretly urged the system. Exchange, crescent moon slash. The system responded. Host requires 1 minute for digestion. Damn it. This delayed system. Gintoki laughed maniacally. Master also entrusted you all to me. In such perilous circumstances, it seems only I, the protagonist, can handle this. You fiend. Kenshin leaped high, positioning his sword beneath Gintoki's feet. This is the first and the last time. Up you go. With a hearty laugh, Gintoki gained momentum from Kenshin's push. Accelerating towards the underside of the spaceship, he swiftly drove his sword into the side of the vessel, proclaiming, See? I made it. This is why I am the protagonist. Only a protagonist enjoys such fortune. With a powerful thrust, he flipped onto the spaceship's deck, where rows of dark gun barrels awaited him. Bang! Hey, Gintoki! Kenshin landed on the cliff, alarmed by the synchronized gunfire. As soon as the words left his mouth, 3 Celestials were flung off the spaceship. Stop the chatter. I, Gintoki, am not so easy to kill. My lord, if this continues, all the ships will be quite close, and the fellows on that ship may very well jump over here. The Duck Celestial reappeared. In that case, the Elegant Celestial remarked coolly, Shoot that ship down. The Duck Celestial gasped, My lord, if we do that, quit your whining. The Elegant Celestial waved his hand impatiently. Do as I say. Reluctantly, the Duck Celestial complied. Understood. Upon witnessing the remaining 3 ships gradually distancing themselves from Gintoki's vessel and aiming their cannons at it, Kenshin immediately shouted, Hey, Gintoki, it's time to come down. How absurd. Gintoki's voice rang out amidst the chaos. Jumping down would mean my death, wouldn't it? Then you would truly be the protagonist. Who cares? Kenshin retorted fiercely, raising his right hand horizontally. A powerful gust erupted from his sword, creating a long, transparent wave that sent the clouds swirling above the cliff. Stay put on that ship. Kenshin's gaze was fixed on the ship that was preparing to fire. With a casual arc of his right hand and a shift of his stance, the tremendous force sent the debris behind him flying. Crescent moon. The air compressed, converging on the sword, and in an instant, the earlier turbulence seemed a mere figment of imagination. Skyward charge. With a single, decisive strike, a colossal crescent blade of transparent energy surged forth, unleashing boundless terror that sent the clouds in the sky swirling. In that moment, it signified that the essence of the sword had completely transcended the realm of humanity. The formidable sword energy cleaved through the bottom of the spacecraft, splitting it in two, and continued its relentless ascent into the sky, drifting aimlessly like the heart of the sword itself. If only I possessed such power at that moment, I would surely protect my master. Swordheart lowered his head once more, raising his right hand, and a long stream of transparent energy manifested again. Simultaneously, the wound on his shoulder burst open anew, blood gushing forth and staining his muramesa. The blade flickered with a faint red light, so subtle it was almost imperceptible, before vanishing entirely. Chapter 21. The crescent moon's ascendancy, the crescent moon's energy swept across the sky, and aside from Jintoki's battleship, all others were struck down by the force of Swordheart's blade. "Hey, Swordheart!" Jintoki shouted exaggeratedly from the ship above. "What is that? When did you learn to unleash sword energy? You can't be human. Who possesses such monstrous abilities?" "Silence!" Swordheart retorted fiercely. "I know you can't pilot a ship, so wait for me to disable the power source. Then time your jump. There's only one chance. Take this seriously, understood? Stop nagging. Hurry up." Jintoki's impatient voice echoed. "Here I come." With a casual strike, Swordheart did not strive for strength, but aimed merely to disable the power, allowing the ship to descend gradually. As the spacecraft hovered parallel to the cliff, Jintoki leaped with all his might towards Swordheart. Seizing the opportunity, Swordheart kicked a nearby tree, enabling Jintoki to use it for leverage, landing next to him effortlessly. Thud! Swordheart turned, delivering a powerful punch that knocked Jintoki to the ground. "I told you this is the last time. If you act recklessly again, I will break your hands." Hey, isn't that a bit too controlling?" Jintoki replied, getting up with a resigned expression. "All right, I promise this is the last time." "Humph." Swordheart sheathed his blade and stepped away. "Let us go, Jintoki. We need to catch up with the others." Without a word, Jintoki too sheathed his sword, his gaze lingering on the slender figure ahead, his eyes reflecting a mix of helplessness and joy. Why does the author feel so nauseous? Below the cliff, a thunderous explosion erupted as the spacecraft met its demise. The departing figures left behind a field of debris, signifying that there was no turning back. Goodness, how fast can they be? Swordheart returned to the spot where he had last been with the others, only to find them gone. An instant headache ensued. They must have gone west. Jintoki crouched down. "Look here." These stones appear to form an arrow, clearly pointing west. "How dare they not wait for us?" Swordheart fumed. "Once I find them, they'll receive a proper lesson." "Hey!" Jintoki's voice came calmly. "Could we move a bit faster? There's nothing here to sustain me. I need to reach the Shinsengami's base." "Yagami, you might as well perish," roared Kenshin as he lunged towards Yagami, who, sensing the imminent danger, sprinted away while occasionally glancing back to mock Kenshin. Thus, the two figures ventured westward. Could the Shinsengami simply abandon their pursuit of Kenshin and his companions? Following the recent explosion, the already dwindling number of survivors was now further diminished. Apart from Takasuji and the wig-wearer, only two Jui patriots remained. And both Takasuji and the wig-wearer, having witnessed the brutalities of war firsthand, fell silent. Perhaps those who moments ago had been boasting and bantering could swiftly transform into mangled corpses. Such a reality was far too overwhelming for the two fledglings. Having left their mark, it was evident that both Yagami and Kenshin were not fools. Takasuji cleaved through the obstructing thicket. "Currently, we cannot ascertain whether the Celestial Navy still occupies the skies. Remaining here serves no purpose. If discovered, we would meet our demise." Yet, his concern for the two comrades lingered. The wig-wearer recognized Takasuji's words held merit, but worry gnawed at his heart. "Have no fear. With Kenshin and Yagami, the number of individuals who could withstand them is exceedingly few." Takasuji's calm voice resonated. "Hirayama, how do you fare?" "Cough, I'm fine." Hirayama replied with a wry smile, casting a glance at the two supporting him, then at the gunshot wound on his back, aware that this was not the moment for candid admissions. "Are you certain it's this way?" Takasuji asked coldly. "Our time is limited, both for you and for me." Hirayama was taken aback. Had this young lad already discerned the truth? Such keen intuition. "Once we cross this mountain, we shall reach the coast, and then we will be entirely safe." Hirayama's voice was calm. "Worry not. I will ensure I remain unharmed until the message is delivered." Takasuji found it difficult to comprehend. Or perhaps he simply did not wish to. After such a battle, they had become comrades in arms. Yet witnessing the life of a fellow soldier ebb away was increasingly disheartening for him. "Ah, I can feel it." The wig-wearer abruptly halted. "Those two have returned." "That was quick," Takasuji exclaimed, a sense of relief washing over him. "Yagami." From afar, a red figure swept through the crowd like a gust of wind. Halting before Takasuji, "Wig-wearer, we have arrived. Just moments ago, weren't you pursuing me? Why have you now positioned yourself in front of me?" Yagami's frustrated voice echoed behind Kenshin. "This is utterly illogical. Blame your lamentable speed in fleeing." Kenshin shot Yagami a sidelong glance. "Rest well, and call Takasuji over. I have matters to discuss with you." Disregarding Yagami's outbursts, Kenshin quietly approached Hirayama, gently touching the concealed shoulder, remaining silent before resignedly shaking his head. Do not worry. I am fine. Hirayama smiled and nodded. We shall arrive soon. Kenshin handed him a hemostatic medicine and a roll of bandage, having done all he could. The rest he could only leave to fate. Seizing the wig beside him, he swiftly moved it aside. Hey, wig, do you need something from me? Why the mystery? He inquired. Wait, there's also Gintoki and Takasuji. Kenshin walked ahead, with the wig striding alongside him. Then, Kenshin's mind delved into the system. System. Can the crescent moon slash be taught? Beep. Host bound to skill, unable to teach. What the? A moment of exasperation. Is there a way to enhance another's combat prowess? Beep. Chi refinement can cultivate chi, but this chi can only be used to strengthen the body, not to be released externally. Why didn't you mention this sooner? Bring me 4 portions. Beep. Requirement. Shout 3 times. I have no morals. Beep. Please complete within 10 seconds. I have no morals. I have no morals. I have no morals. Ignoring the bewildered gazes of the wig and a few others, Kenshin, with a thick skin, continued to scrutinize the system. Reward dispensed. Please check your inventory. System, you are increasingly tempting my wrath. Opening the inventory, he gazed at the 4 yellow slips within. Seizing an opportunity when no one was watching, he discreetly pulled one out for inspection. So, it generates chi within the body, which is then absorbed by the skeletal structure at the moment of manifestation, thereby enhancing physical strength. What is this? If I possess the system, the chi 1T vanish, and each time will retain a reserve of 50 chi? If so, will I truly be able to unleash the Kamehameha or the flight technique in the future? Beep. System kindly reminds, you are overthinking. Chapter 22. There must always be partings and reunions. This is for you, Kenshin said, handing the 3 slips from his inventory to the trio walking beside him. Upon receiving the paper, Gintoki merely glanced at it, but upon seeing the words related to chi cultivation, he immediately leaped with excitement. Oh, what is this? Is this the legendary method of chi cultivation? Can we unleash the Kamehameha too? I feel like I'm about to ignite. I'm going to burn up. Shut it. A swift chop silenced Gintoki. Kenshin, observing the silent wig and Takasuji, inquired, what's wrong? Nothing. The wig regarded Kenshin curiously. Is this the reason for your strength? No, you're overthinking it, Kenshin replied, maintaining his composure. This is merely a method to enhance the body. It won't enable you to unleash the Kamehameha or anything of the sort. Hey, Kenshin, don't deceive me. Gintoki's muffled voice came through. I clearly saw those ships. That transparent sword energy. And that embarrassing name. Takasuji exclaimed in surprise, sword energy? Thus, Gintoki recounted everything that had transpired to Takasuji. Kenshin. Takasuji regarded him with a complex expression. Have you truly grown this powerful? No, the so-called sword energy is merely a method of vibrating air. Kenshin lowered his head. I'm sorry, but I cannot teach you this method, as I do not even know how to unleash it myself. The wig stared at the paper. It's fine. I am already content with this. One day, I too shall unleash something akin to sword energy. Before that, I must diligently cultivate a robust physique. Indeed. Takasuji accepted the paper. Without a strong body, how can one unleash a formidable strike? How can one grow powerful? Gintoki provocatively gazed at the others. When I am able to unleash the Kamehameha, you will all be left dumbfounded. Be quiet. It could never be you. At last, we have arrived. Hirabayashi beheld the fluttering banners, a weary smile gracing his lips. I have indeed fulfilled my duty. My lord. The 2 loyalists were rendered speechless with emotion. Gintoki said nothing, but like a gust of wind, he rushed to Hirabayashi, lifting him effortlessly and sprinting towards the encampment. What are you doing? Do not worry. A deep voice resonated. He is merely expressing his concern in his own way. Hey, your commander. Hirabayashi has returned. Gintoki bellowed, causing a momentary commotion within the encampment, soon followed by a swift approach of a contingent towards Gintoki. Stand aside. I wish to see your commander. Ignoring the throng, Gintoki nimbly maneuvered past them, heading directly for the main camp. Hey, stop right there. Countless swords were drawn, forming a blockade around Gintoki. He neither drew his own weapon nor spoke, simply evading them all, his silhouette flickering as he stepped into the camp. The crowd surged, rushing into the camp, fearful of Gintoki's departure. Everyone, stand down. A commanding voice echoed. Hirabayashi has returned. There is no need for alarm. He is not an assassin. Upon hearing this, the numerous loyalists outside the door began to disperse. Inside the camp, a stern-faced officer in military attire regarded Hirabayashi, who was gasping for breath in a chair, remaining silent for a moment. "Young man, could you kindly step outside?" A low voice inquired, and Gintoki slightly nodded before striding out. "Hirabayashi." A reflective voice. "It seems we have traversed this path together for quite some time now." Ahem. A brief cough. "It has been 3 years. Kichiwa, do you think you have grown weary of my company? Are you contemplating resigning?" Kichiwa, "After all, you do tend to be quite verbose. I am somewhat fed up with you." Hirabayashi, "That is merely out of concern for you, my old friend." Kichiwa, "Who knows? In any case, I am resigning." Hirabayashi, "That will depend on whether I agree." Kichiwa, "Huh. This time, I shall not heed your words." "Ha ha." Hirabayashi coughed up blood. "I have received intel that soon the Celestials will launch a carpet bombing of the Loyalist activities from an altitude of 10,000 meters, utterly annihilating the resistance. Is that significant?" Kichiwa, "Regardless of its importance. I have conveyed the information to you." Hirabayashi, Kichiwa, "By the way, there is one more matter." The young lad outside, along with a red-haired child, a black-haired one with long straight hair, and a short-haired child with purple hair, possess formidable powers. I hope you will take good care of them. They will be pivotal figures in this war. What are their names? Kichiwa, "Go ask them yourself. I am going to sleep now." Hirabayashi. An eerie silence ensued. Neither spoke first. Hirabayashi? Jihua nodded silently, calling out softly but receiving no response. The trembling voice of the plane echoed, "I understand." By the time Kenshin slowly arrived at this household, it had already been engulfed by an overwhelming darkness. Black ribbons fluttered, and black headscarves danced in the air. Kenshin and his companions knew all too well that the individual they sought was irrevocably gone. "My apologies, you must be the ones who came with Lord Gintoki." A member of the Shinsengumi appeared, his head adorned with a black band, his eyes betraying an inescapable sorrow. "Please follow me. Lord Gintoki has been awaiting your arrival." Understood. Following the man's lead, they traversed a landscape littered with desolation. The struggle for restoration was inherently an unjust war for anyone involved. The so-called restoration was merely a gamble with their lives. Despite harboring convictions, death remained death, and all was ultimately the same. Gintoki. Kenshin opened the door and beheld Gintoki seated in silence, while Jihua stood atop a platform, lost in contemplation of a photograph of the plane. Kenshin abruptly grasped a wig, signaling for silence. "Are you the ones the plane spoke of?" Jihua finally turned, and in that fleeting moment, Gintoki noticed several inexplicable white strands sprouting from his head. Kenshin, Gintoki, Katsura, and Takasuji. "I understand." Jihua nodded slightly. "Do you wish to join the Shinsengumi?" "Indeed." "Then what compels you to become Shinsengumi?" Jihua inquired further. "To rescue someone." They replied in unison. "Oh, a protective endeavor?" Jihua regarded the four with approval. "That is a commendable aspiration. Even if you were to part ways and perhaps never meet again, would that be of no concern to you?" The four remained silent. "I have received intelligence that the Shinsengumi across the regions are embroiled in fierce battles. While the Celestials are poised to unleash carpet bombings from 10,000 feet in the air within a month, aiming to obliterate the restoration efforts entirely." Observing the four, Jihua noted their lack of fear and continued, "At present, I require someone to deliver this intelligence to the east, south, and north. As fortune would have it, there are 4 of you. Thus I shall dispatch each of you to one of these locations. Is there anyone willing to volunteer?" "I will," they proclaimed in unison. "Very well, then you may discuss among yourselves." Jihua exited the door. "I shall head to the east," came the resolute voice of the wig-wearer. "That area is in dire need of someone with my skills, and I wish to hone my abilities there. Remaining here would serve me no purpose. I shall go to the north." Takasuji's cold voice interjected. "The north is a realm of cunning and strategy. It is utterly unsuitable for you all, as I will be forming my own unit there." "Kenshin, do not speak." Gintoki interrupted. Hey. Do not claim the south for yourself. That is the front line. For someone like me, it is the most fitting place." "You all," Kenshin exclaimed in disbelief. "Kenshin," the 3 spoke in unison, "you cannot bear the weight of everything alone. We are brothers. Should we not grow together as brothers?" Kenshin hesitated, gazing into the earnest eyes of his companions, resolutely deciding. "Very well, I shall remain at the west. Here, where our memories linger closest, I will await your news. Of course, The three responded in unison. Then they raised their hands, for individuals clasping them tightly together. Do not perish, they exclaimed in unison.